think my title is misleading because I wasn't actually going to talk about penises, although I guess I could. But I'm more talking about obesity. And so I was watching the Whatever podcast. Belch. And I've seen a couple of their podcasts before. I'm not a huge fan or anything. But there was this like huge broad on there. I don't know if she's one of the famous broads, you know, the famous fat broads that are out there doing the fat broad thing. But they asked each of them to rate themselves, all the chicks on there. And it's funny how, like, the best looking ones gave themselves the lower score. So the big fat broad called herself an 8. The best looking of the 5 broads said she was 7.5. Then you have this overweight kind of halfy girl who says she's a 10. Another girl who's she's kind of ugly actually. Apparently she's like the Catholic girl or whatever. But she said 8 and 8.5 or something like that, the last two. But the fact that the fat girl was saying that she's an 8, and when asked about it, she was like, well, you know, and then when they asked the dudes, the dude was like 7. The best looking dude, the black guy, was probably like, I think he said 7.5. And then another good looking white guy was like 7 or maybe an 8, I don't know. The one guy, Andrew, who is one of the main people on there, said he was a 4, called himself a 4. And the other, the main guy called himself a 5. And they were explaining it, and Andrew was like, look, I'm old, I'm out of shape, you know, I'm balding and, you know, all these things. And he brought up, you know, my personality is off-putting at times and whatnot. But he called himself a 4. And when asked the fat chick, why did she call herself an 8? She's like, because I have a good personality and it's like, no, but wait, they were asking you about your looks. How do you look? And in what world are you an 8? And I'm really, like, the whole body positivity movement is a weird thing. You know, I'm all for body positivity, but obesity is wrong. You know? Hey, what's up, David? I always see David and I'm like, I hope you're not a fryer. Because I just hate fryers. I fucking hate the letter J because of the fryers. It's getting to be outrageous. But I really do like this whole obesity thing that's happening is just so strange. And I guess maybe it's like a backlash. It's good for pain though, isn't it? When you live your life in pain, it's good for pain. But I see these, you know, I see this happening quite a lot where you see like, it seems like it's only big fat girls too. Like where are all the dudes that are the Hayom, move. Yeah, I don't really see that nearly as much. I mean, I'm sure there is, but I doubt they're taken as seriously. I mean, Rick Ross's fat ass has always put himself out there with his shirt off and whatnot. And you know, big is one. I'm not, you know, you would never know it by my own personal life, but you know, anorexic skinny is not my favorite. Kate Moss skinny is not my favorite. I think women should have curves. Maybe it's the half black in me. But at the same time, I mean, the whole thing that's been done to black women, where they literally pose for pictures like with their asses poked out. Like, your big, fat, gross, dimply ass should not be your number one attribute. That's where the poop comes from. Like, it's just such a weird thing. How did butts become how did the butts become the shit? Butts become the shit. That's my song. I like that song. It's those morbidly obese body positivity broads, they're gonna die in their 30s. They don't live a good life. Like, they may have the superficial shit because they've put themselves out there and they're reaping the rewards from it. But that broad, like, when she wakes up in the morning, she's happy she woke up. Because she doesn't know. She doesn't know if her fat ass is going to kill her in her sleep. She's going to roll over on herself.
There was a lady last night walking out of Walmart. She was so
Waddling.
large. Oh my God. She had this giant fat pocket at the top of her thighs. So when she was walking, it was like horses on either side. And I just kept thinking, that has to be so fucking heavy.
And painful.
Because it's skin. Like,
where's what body positivity is there? Shame is what makes you, is what motivates you. Being ashamed of things is okay. It's a good thing. If you're ashamed of behaviors, if you're ashamed of perceptions and whatnot, that's how that's motivation to change. And for us to be putting this out there like, oh, it's okay, it's not okay. The thing I always say about every single fucking one of them, you might put on this big show, you might pretend that you're okay with it. If I had a magic wand and I could wave it over you, and not only would you be suddenly skinny, you wouldn't have all the sagging skin and all that. Your body would look like Scarlett Johansson's. You'd take it in a heartbeat. You wouldn't go, nah, I'm going to continue to be morbidly obese. No, I get it that some of you might say that because that's your income. Because, how can you say it's body positivity when you go online and eat stuff and get paid for it? People aren't watching you eat because it's positive, right? They're watching you eat like it's a sideshow. Like, feeding the lions and shit. But not even that, because, it's like, let's see if she'll eat some cupcakes, fat girl. Eat some cupcakes. Oh, okay, I'll eat some cupcakes. Oh, eat some cake. Oh, yeah. Like, it's not, there's nothing positive about it. And all of you, like even me, like, I know I'm I'm the heaviest I've ever been in my life. And if it weren't for the injuries and the constant pain, I'd be doing something. If I was capable of doing it, I'd be that 46-year-old guy that's in great shape and doing his feed with his shirt off. At this point in my life, I actually have the base weight to be able to make that into, sculpture-esque muscle. I could, if I could, it could turn it great.
the lips. Why do people do that?
And, you know, they paid millions. That person's probably worth $1 million. Maybe more. Would I fuck up my face for $1 million? You better believe it.
Fat ass and duck lips and eyelashes like butterflies. That's what's, you know, the hot trends, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know how that fucking works.
But fat ass is the first. Like, they gotta have a fat ass. Weird.
It's weird. It's fucking weird. I mean, I just don't understand it. Like, I get, like, fascination with boobs in that, one, it's something we don't have, and two, it you know, it's like biological. Like, you should be attracted to boobs. Those were life-giving to you at one point, and, you know, whatever. What about the butt? I don't, you know, I get a nice butt, no doubt about it. Good to grab on and all that stuff. I don't know. I mean, to me, it all seems really clear that especially the hip hop industry has been and always will be controlled by the rumored gay mafia, that all these guys are gay. And, you know, that's why there's so much fascination with ass. I remember Kanye put on that on one of his songs, big fat ass and up top 2 bee stings. So you want a girl with basically no tits and a butt, a big butt. So kind of like a little boy. They are trying to normalize obesity. Absolutely, they are. And if they turn everyone into lazy, obese pieces of shit, you know, Wall-E style, think about how easy we'll be to control. There's no physical opposition for them. I mean, you know, I see those big old military dudes. They're just jacked. They're roided to the gills. They've got whatever secret serums inside them and shit. That's scary as is. Imagine being so fat you can't even like run down the street or anything. Like if you're so fat that it affects the way that you walk, you know, you gotta like swing each piece around. You know, that's a eye opener. We got a few nickels in it, huh? Oh, I think something to you. Be free, feel free. You know my address. Oh, you know what I found? I found this page that from the whole Broly situation, where like, you know, oh my God, it said this. They completely doxed me. They completely, you know. It's really crazy to think that like that response happened. So what had happened was, out of the blue one day, we get a call that our Cane Corso puppy that is supposed to be here in like 3 weeks is going to be dropped off today. And we're, what the fuck? You know, that wasn't the deal, but okay, whatever.
He was only 6 weeks old, stupid lady.
The people that we were with, or that we got him from, were these, you know, absolute stereotypes. And so absolute stereotypes think that you have to make the dog tough. You have to fight with the dog. You have to make him, you know. And it's like, you understand this is going to be like a 200 fucking pound dog, right? You don't want to make this dog aggressive whatsoever. So as the dogs dropped off, like I'm live as the dogs dropped off. And the dog is you know, trying to establish its dominance. It's trying to be a big tough guy to these new people it has. So I put it down like you would a puppy. You know, you take your 3 fingers and your thumb and you just sort of hold them there like the mom would do, like the pack leader would do, like Caesar Milan would do. And it's until they calm down. You're not hurting them in the slightest. Like the idea that the dog is being hurt is a joke. I'm not even squeezing the dog.
Just scream and protest when they're stubborn.
Right, and because it's a puppy, it's going. Rah, 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 rah. It's mad, like a little kid. It's having a temper tantrum. And eventually, after a couple of minutes of protest, it gives up and it goes. And as soon as it does that, it's over. You know it's over. And, okay, come here, good boy. And you give it love and all that stuff. And that's literally what we did. These desperate fucks tried to do everything. Oh, you're abusing the dog. Yeah, like if you saw that dog today, that dog is as spoiled as it gets.
A big old marshmallow. Because of that.
Yeah. I can't.
He's good because of that.
Mm-hmm. If we would have let him be the tough guy from a puppy,
Oh my God.
he would be a monster today.
Uncontrollable.
Like a flat out monster. Like we'd be scared of him. And he'd be 200 pounds of fucking raw dog strength. You know, there's nothing anybody can do in that situation.
And instead, he's a total sweetheart.
Right, he's the best. He's
very protective, but very sweet to those that he loves.
He's a cane corso. It's what they are. It's what they do. And it's not like, you know, you don't put the dog down. When it's 10 weeks, when it's 15, when it's grown, it's too big, it's too far. You have to do it immediately, especially if it's coming from a negative place where they used to, you know, give it the little play fight with it all the time.
Get him to fight her hands. And shit.
Right.
Cane Corso is the third hardest bite out of all the animals. Like,
Yes.
you don't want them biting you.
We have a giant Corso. And he's a Corso Mastiff. He's got some Mastiff in him, so he's even bigger.
Bull Mastiff.
He's a big fucking monster. As soon as he realizes that he's, you know, as soon as he becomes self-aware and you know, realizes, like, has a human thought, like, holy shit, I think, therefore I am, we're all fucked. There'd be literally nothing I could do. If that dog just decided to come up the stairs right now and be like, this is my house, nothing I could do. I could hit it with stuff. I could kick it, punch it. It wouldn't affect it in the slightest.
But he could bite your arm off in one big bite.
Yep. Yes, you'd have to train him carefully. Yeah, well, anybody that knows anything about dogs, like even a little bit, unlike the Redford, Michigan animal control lady, knows that, you know, that you put them down doesn't hurt them at all. Of course they protest. And it sounds awful.
Oh, it sounds like you're killing them.
Right. They try to make it sound like, oh, it's horrible.
And because he was such a little stubborn tough ass, he screamed for a little longer than I've seen some other puppies scream for.
For sure. Which shows you if we wouldn't have done that, it would have been a really tough road. For as much as he protested and for as long as he protested. If we wouldn't have established things right off the bat, it would have been...
exactly all it is. Establishing hierarchy.
Leo Maya? Wow, that's been a long time, dude. What's going on? If it's the same person. Super swell, how are you? That's such a weird question to me, right? People ask me how I'm doing, and it's like, yeah, well, there's a genocide taking place right now. So outside of there's a genocide taking place, I guess I'm okay. I'm not in the genocide, so that's good. But I don't, it is you. It's been a long time. Oh, look, we have the pedophile Mackenzie here. And 10 years ago, videos all over Facebook, you hurting a dog for fun. Yep, see? Go figure, the pedophile is saying dumb shit.
Is that the claw guy?
Hmm? Yeah. That's Mr. Krabs. At least we think it is, not really sure. You're alive. Am I alive? What? Yes. I've been alive for a long time.
Almost 47 years. Holy shit.
I've actually been alive for more than 47 years. Almost 48 years. Because that whole zero thing. Yes, there are absolutely still couch people here, for sure. Because it's pedos. These are, again, people think I just say these things as like, I'm just trying to be mean or clever or whatever. No, it's literally the only understanding I can get. I can't for the life of me understand why anyone normal would obsess over me as they do. Why anybody would ever try to deter me or stop me in any way. Other than you being a pedophile and or a friar, an Israeli, I have no idea. And when asked, they don't provide you with any information. So it leads you to, put two and two together and assume that it's just friars and pedophiles, man. Friars and pedophiles. They're definite. They're fucking coward. It's not even fuck them. It's more kill them. When it comes to pedos, we just need to kill them. I don't have any sympathy, any soft spot, any anything. If you're a pedo, if DAP catches you, if LC Predator Hunter catches you, if Predator Poachers catches you, if fucking Pop Squad catches you, if any of these fucking people catch you, that's it. You should be allowed to make a few phone calls to let your family know what's up. But you should immediately be taken to a holding facility where whatever evidence is against you is presented. When it's shown that you engaged in what you engaged in, even if you swear you had no intentions, you just enticed this minor and bribed this minor and then showed up to the place, but you weren't going to do it. No. We just kill you. And I don't understand who disagrees with that. Who disagrees with that? And honestly, I mean, if we were going to actually be legitimate, be real, try to fix problems, we would take it that next step, right? We would say, listen, if you have that thing inside you that makes you want to hurt people, torture people, rape people, kill people, whatever it may be, sign up. Sign up for the program. And the program is that, hey, if we're going to monitor you, if you're on this list and you let us know that you have this proclivity, we're going to monitor you. And if you follow the rules and you don't hurt any innocent people to feed that need of yours, then you get added into the program. And as pedophiles present themselves, as rapists present themselves, we allow you, the government will deliver one of them to you. And you can do as you please with that person. There will be no strings attached. You want to rape them, you want to stick things inside them, you want to burn them, you want to get all of your horrible, disgusting urges out. Keep them alive as long as you want to. If that's going to prevent you from going out and doing it to some innocent kid, some innocent woman, some innocent dude, then I'm all for it. And I realize that might be a little too far for some people. So don't join the club. Sean Ryan, don't know who that is.
How does that make the person doing that better than the pedophile, though?
Because we have to we have to acknowledge that there are people that have that.
Okay, they need to go too.
Yeah, but
it's not just only about kids. You can ruin lives, whether it's the kids or an adults.
I understand. And that's what we're trying to do, is prevent that from happening. Because there are people out there that have that inside them. And if unchecked, they're going to harm an innocent person. And if you're willing to play by the rules and say, I have this thing inside of me, personally, I would much rather that happen than them go to prison for the rest of their lives and taxpayers have to pay for that shit, 3 hots and a cot.
Rather they be there than walking the streets free.
They're not going to be walking the streets free. They're not going to, because if they escape your house, we drop them. If they escape your house, you're now in trouble.
No, the people that are doing the torturing get to walk free. They shouldn't be able to.
But they are. And they are, this again, this is where it's like there's no connection being made. We're sorry. Those people are here. Those people exist. Those people are up and down your street, just like there are pedos.
And we actively try to hunt them down and lock them up.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We wait for them to do something, and then, if the resources are there, if everything falls into place just right, then the person gets in trouble. Look, if you watch these dumbass shows all the time, Bones and NCIS and all that, you have a distorted view of things. You think the cops are a lot more capable than they actually are. But when you watch the show First 48, you see cops for what they truly are. They're just, like they're if somebody doesn't break the case for them, most of the time they don't break the case. They're relying on somebody else to come tell them the stuff, and then they end up getting the credit for it. Well, the witness said this, and then they get but they can't do shit. A vast majority of the murders and crimes and shit that happen, especially in places like Detroit, go unsolved. And this is I would say a small percentage of that is based on people just sort of out there sport killing. I think the majority of that comes from necessity or, results of crime or something like that. But for the most part, the crimes that happen, they go unsolved unless somebody tells on somebody else. There are murderers up and down the streets where you live. There are people, maybe they have enough control over it, but these are the same people that love watching Faces of Death. Love watching disgusting, my movies and shit. If you're one of those horrorcore people and your favorite movies are Saw and this, that, and the other, I don't think you actually doing something to somebody else is too far-fetched. I would bet you have fantasies about that shit.
I don't know, it's a pretty big step between thinking about it and actually doing it, though. It really is.
For sure.
Your brain has lots of checks and balances in between that time.
I don't think that there are a lot of people that would be in the program. I think the program would have a small amount of people. Probably not nearly enough to actually accommodate for all of the pedos and rapists and all that exist. Yeah, Dexter, exactly. And I just think like again, I'd rather feed two birds with one seed than pretend like it's not a thing. So if I can eliminate the pedo while it not having to be taxpayer funded and put up in a protected wing of the prison where they play Super Nintendo all day and learn new tricks in the trade from other pedos they're locked up with and kept in their special wing. And that they just that they're dealt with in this whatever the situation is, while that person that I have no idea who they are, that person that, you know, people knock on their door and never get seen again kind of thing. People out hunting in the night for homeless people and shit like that. Like, that shit exists. So if we can fix that, if we can say, hey, all you sickos out there that are willing to play by the rules, we will allow you to exercise all of your sick fucking urges while also taking care of a problem for us. Not to mention, how many people do you think would be just as likely to go out there and violate someone if instead of going to a protected wing of the prison for a couple of months, slap on the wrist kind of shit, they knew they would be given to somebody just as sick or sicker than them? How many? Don't you think that would be a pretty, significant deterrent?
I think we'd see a huge increase in the suicide rate.
Okay, good. Good. I'm more than okay with pedos, rapists, whoever it is, killing themselves. If you have that ability to do that, if you can, take the children out of it. If you can look at a woman who is pleading with you, screaming, crying, doesn't want you, and you can still do it, like you're a sick fuck. I don't even understand the guys that are like, come on, wife, I just want to get laid. Just lay there and let me get laid real quick. Okay, hurry up. Like, I can't imagine that. That's fucking weird. But if you can maintain an erection when somebody is actively resisting you, screaming no, crying, whatever, that's not a fixable thing. Like, I don't know how you could make that attractive to me. Huh? Chuck Liddell.
He's in a lot of these shows.
Oh, I thought you were talking about what I was saying. I was like, Chuck didn't do anything.
But what if they were given to Chuck Liddell?
Great. Great.
He's old now.
He'd still hurt him real bad. Times have changed and children must be kept safe. These people are all around us and hide in plain sight. It's so much worse than people think. He's a good dude, ex-Navy SEAL, CIA contractor, and his YouTube channel grew from 600 to what it is now. I'm proud of him. I don't know who the fuck you're talking about. What do you think of Charlie Kirk? I think he's a piece of shit. Or he was a piece of shit. Absolute 100% piece of shit.
Filled with hate.
Delusional. Might not even be dead. But whatever we saw was 100% an Israeli operation. Israel made Charlie Kirk to take him out. The entire process from start to finish, why this man was elevated like he was so that the one day he could be shot. It's all part of a huge plan. So, if you look at Charlie Kirk's donor list, it reads like a bar mitzvah registry. It's just so many friars and Israeli organizations donating, millions and millions of dollars, especially in the beginning. Prison is designed to break people like that down. And when I was in jail for 9 months, I seen none of this guy who raped his daughter get free. I don't know what the fuck you meant. Beat with the TV. Israel or Palestine. What? It's not, the reality to me is that Palestine is just a distraction. Palestine is just a symptom, actually. It's a symptom of the problem. Israel doesn't exist. Israel is not a thing. It doesn't think. It doesn't breathe. It doesn't, vote. Israel is not a thing. It's an invisible construct. Somebody told you, see that invisible line right there? That's the border for Israel. And you're like, which one? So I'm in Israel? No, I'm not in Israel. I'm in Israel? No. Like, it's invisible. We aren't talking about Israel, in any sort of capacity. And the reality is, how do you say free Palestine to the Lebanese? You know that Israel is illegally annexing land in Lebanon, like as we speak. Some what is it, 40, 50 yards or something like that past the blue line. They're constructing a wall, a big long wall, where they know they're in violation and they just don't care. How do you say free Palestine to the Yemeni? How do you say free Palestine to Iran? You don't. And all of those different entities have one common enemy. And again, it's not Israel. It's the cult that Israel houses. It's the sadistic, predatory, ritualistic sexual abuse cult that runs things. And it's actually pretty easily explainable, actually. I'm aggressively silent for both sides. Why? There are children being starved and killed. There are people, but especially innocent, know nothing about what's going on, children being raped, starved, tortured every single fucking day. Like, it's, the people that are like, well, it doesn't involve me, so I don't care about it. It's a weird way to look at things, man. What do you think about the war in them crane? Put a J on the front of that. Then you'll get your answer. You have to ask yourself why we even care about Ukraine to begin with. And the fact that we care about Ukraine means we should probably care about Palestine then, right? Because the thing with Ukraine is that they're being attacked by the bigger, badder superpower for no reason whatsoever. So we have to stand up for Ukraine because Ukraine is so, beneficial to the United States, right? Like it's almost laughable how ridiculous the narrative is, especially when you try to be like, okay, tell me the good stuff. Tell me how the United States benefits from the Ukraine relationship. Tell me why we care about Ukraine even a little bit. And people just won't give you any real answer. Oh, they're the breadbasket for Europe. Okay, well, we're not a part of that. It's really insane. And then when you look at it and you understand that a large portion of Israeli society comes from Ukraine. They did study. Why there's DNA tests are banned in Israel, but there was a study that was done and it showed that 95% of Israelis don't have Semitic blood. meaning they come from Ukraine, they come from Poland, they come from Europe, they come from the Americas. They're not Semitic people. There you go. Understand that. So just like the October 7th false flag, one day I get this weird hair up my ass. This is, this is a couple weeks after the unprovoked invasion of Ukraine. And I remember, so if you can remember, so we were all full on COVID. The convoy was happening. There's all this shit going on. And then suddenly, Virginia Giuffre goes against everything she said and says, instead of going to court, I'm just going to take the 16 million pounds that I'm offered and disappear. And as soon as that happened, the Andrew thing seemingly went away. The next day, here in the States, it's either the next day or the day after, across the United States, all of the governors everywhere, without any sort of prompt or provocation, they all just say, hey, you know what? All the mask restrictions are released and go back to normal. The convoy literally just disappears. Like, there's no conclusion to it. There's not a bunch of arrests made, which there should have been. The whole story fell apart. Like, Algo and I used to talk about it all the time. Algo really fell for the convoy. And I kept saying to him, dude, where are they getting their gas from? You understand how stupid this is? Like, this is stupid. Stop falling for this. And so everything sort of went away, except it didn't. People were starting to say, hey, is that taxpayer 16 million pounds going to be paid to Virginia Giuffre? Why are the taxpayers paying this? And what about the tapes? Because the tapes kept coming up. I know I was saying it. What about the fucking tapes found in Epstein's safe? What about all those tapes? Release the tapes. Fuck your fucking files. Release the tapes. And I'm not saying we should see the tapes, but release, who is on those tapes. Release the list of names from the tapes. And so people really started to, it didn't work. We didn't shut the fuck up like we were supposed to. So out of the blue, Russia does the unprovoked invasion of Ukraine. And so I can't remember what it was. I don't think it was the whole Syrian airspace. It might have been the Syrian airspace thing. Because, like when it came to Ukraine, Ukraine was consistently asking Israel for help. Can you show me another conflict, another situation, another anything where anyone asked Israel for help, expected Israel to help them? Why would Ukraine expect, want, need, request help from Israel of all places? It just seems kind of strange, don't you think? And so I looked it up. I wanted to know what is the relationship Russia and Israel have. And it turns out that the reason that Israel wouldn't flat out support Ukraine and come to Ukraine's defense is because Russia controls Syria's airspace and Israel wanted to be able to kill Iranian proxies inside Syria by dropping bombs on them. And if they made an enemy of Russia, they wouldn't be able to. Just think about the ridiculousness of what I just said. Russia controls Syrian airspace. So Israel wouldn't help Ukraine, despite their pleading, against Russia, because Israel wants to be able to kill Iranian proxies in Syria and by dropping bombs on them, and they wouldn't be able to do it again because Russia controls the airspace. Do you understand how fucking stupid that is? And Israel just keeps killing Syrians and being like, well, they're Iranian proxies. Well, there were Hezbollah Iranian tunnels underneath the place that we destroyed. We're going with tunnels again. And so I looked up the Russian invasion of Ukraine Wikipedia page. I've done this twice. Twice in my life have I looked up a page, an event page, clicked back as far as I could on the edits, clicked edit history, and then clicked back to the first edit. I've done it twice, and both times, one was the Russia invasion of Ukraine, the other one was the Israel-Hamas War 2023 page. From what I could tell, the page made for the unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, unbeknownst, nobody knew about it, unplanned, unprovoked, was made the day before the actual invasion. Interestingly, right? The other thing you'll find out is that for 3 weeks prior to the unprovoked invasion, Israel had 3 of the largest Airbus planes that are available, 747, 757, I don't know what the fuck it is, running nonstop from Ukraine, from Kiev to Israel. And anybody that wanted to come to Israel and get their, the law of return, where they then get their little homestead and their mansion and they get their lives paid for, if they were willing to leave Ukraine, leave Kiev, leave all their shit behind, they would come, they would get brought to Israel and be given a life.
That's not anything, right?
Weed. And I mean, this completely goes against the narrative you're given, right? It's not even, and there's no conspiracy theory here. Well, I would say you could look it up yourself, but shortly after I did it again on November 7th, 2023, and figured out that the Wikipedia page for the October 7th attacks was first edited 8 minutes before the supposed attacks took place. And since I figured that out and brought as much attention to it as I could, you can't do that on Wikipedia anymore. It's very, very difficult to look up edit history on Wikipedia nowadays.
Oh, you can't? Really?
Oh, yeah. You can't just click edit history and then go back. It doesn't work like that anymore. Makes you wonder why. Let's see. Why do they have an Iron Dome? Where was our titanium dome during 9/11? The Iron Dome is fake. So it's kind of like the Samson option, right? So if you look up the Samson option, let me look it up for you real quick, just so you guys get an idea of what I'm saying. Samson option. Oh, let's see what the AI has to say. The AI breakdown. The Samson option is Israel's deterrent strategy of massive retaliation with nuclear weapons as a, quote, last resort against any country whose military has invaded and or destroyed much of Israel. That wording is so suspect. Has invaded and or destroyed. If you could have two people, right? You could have two people that are I'm American military, and they could say we are being invaded because two people have invaded us, but they could say it was an invasion. Invaded and or destroyed is a big vague, it allows for lots of interpretation. And the thing is, according to the official record, we don't know definitively whether Israel has nuclear capabilities, because they're the only country that's allowed to be like, fuck you. Anybody else doesn't let the UN inspectors, remember that term, UN inspectors? Let the UN inspectors into their shit. It becomes a problem. Israel is just like, I saw this map one time, and it was red and blue. All the countries that had nuclear capabilities were blue. All the countries that didn't were red. And then there was one purple country. That one purple country was the I don't know country, and that was Israel. And there have been multiple times throughout history where Israel has threatened nuclear, there's the famous one where, let's see, it's in here, where Nixon was blackmailed. All right, let me just read this to you. The Samson option is Israel's deterrent strategy of massive retaliation with nuclear weapons as a last resort, in quote, last resort, against the country whose military has invaded and or destroyed much of Israel. Commentators have also have employed the term to refer to situations where non-nuclear, non-Israeli actors have threatened conventional weapons retaliation. Yeah, never heard of that. The name is in reference to the biblical Israelite Judge Samson, who pushed apart the pillars of a Philistine temple, bringing down the roof and killing himself and thousands of Philistines who had captured him. I remember being a kid. I don't know why this memory is so prominent for me, but I remember being a kid. I'm sitting in my living room with my little TV with the push buttons on it, and we're watching a movie. I'm not sure which movie it is. Maybe it's the Ten Commandments. I'm not really sure which one it is. But there's the shot of Samson is chained to the pillars and his long hair, and he pulls down the pillars. I remember seeing that. I remember because I thought it was so cool. How does one man pull down the stone? Well, it's because he's a friar. Chosen because he's special. That's why he has magic powers. When the Lehigh militant group were discussing ways to assassinate General Evelyn Baker, the British Army commander in Mandatory Palestine. Gee, that sounds like that was long before 1948, when it's Mandatory Palestine, right? A young woman volunteered to do the assassination as a suicide bombing. She said, "Let my soul die with the Philippines," as a reference to the Samson story in the Hebrew Bible. Other members of the group rejected her offer. So why is this story even a thing? We're saying that somehow this one piece of this one conversation somehow made it to the wiki history books. And it wasn't even a thing. I love when wiki does that. When they talk about how this guy in 1458 was offered a job by the king of this thing, which he turned down. Like, then why the fuck is that even a part of the narrative? Nuclear ambiguity. Israel refuses to confirm or deny it as nuclear weapons, or to describe how it would use them. A policy of deliberate ambiguity known as nuclear ambiguity or nuclear opacity. This has made it difficult for anyone outside the Israeli government to describe the country's true nuclear policy definitively, while still allowing Israel to influence the perceptions, strategies, and actions of other governments. You see that? You see what? Do you pick up what's being said? However, over the years, some Israeli leaders have publicly acknowledged their country's nuclear capabilities. Ephraim Katzir in 1974, Moshe Dayan in 81, Shimon Peres in 1998, and Ehud Olmert in 2006. Yet we still pretend like they don't? 4 different powerful Israeli leaders, especially Shimon Peres, has acknowledged that they have them, and we're like, well, we still don't know. Personally, I don't think nukes exist, but that's a different thing. During his 2006 confirmation hearings before the United States Senate regarding his appointment as George W. Bush's Secretary of Defense, Robert Gates admitted that Israel had nuclear weapons. And 2 years later, 2008, former U.S. President Jimmy Carter stated the number of nuclear weapons held by Israel to be 150 or more. I mean, in Senate confirmation hearings, the Secretary of Defense has admitted it, and it's still ambiguity? Why? Like, it's kind of weird when you think about it, right? And I'll explain it in a minute. I just want to hear what they have to say. In 2008, in his 2008 book, Culture of War, Martin Van Creveld, a professor of military history at Israel's Hebrew University, wrote that since Gates admitted that Israel had nuclear weapons, any talk of Israel's nuclear weapons in Israel can lead to arrest, trial, and imprisonment. Thus, Israeli commentators talk in euphemisms such as doomsday weapons and the Samson option. Isn't it? What? Since the Secretary of Defense admitted that Israel had them, they've implemented a policy that says if anybody else admits it, they can be imprisoned, arrested, or trial. That's weird as fuck. Nevertheless, as early as 1976, the CIA believed that Israel possessed 10 to 20 nuclear weapons. By 2002, it was estimated that the number had increased to between 75 and 200 thermonuclear weapons, each in the multiple megaton range. Kenneth S. Brower has estimated as many as 400 nuclear weapons. Oh, well, fucking A, Kenneth S. Brower said that. Love how that's just thrown in there. It's just a sentence. These can be launched from land, sea, and air. This gives Israel a second strike option, even if much of the country is destroyed. In 1991, American investigative journalist and Pulitzer Prize winning political writer Seymour Hersh authored the book Samson Option, Israel's Nuclear Arsenal and American Foreign Policy. In the preface of the book, he writes, "This is a book about how Israel became a nuclear power in secret. It also tells that secret was shared, sanctioned, and at times willfully ignored by the top political and military officials of the United States since the Eisenhower years." There is that thing, I can't remember what it's called, but where nuclear materials were stolen by Israel, where this ship out of France, I don't know the actual fucking thing, but ship out of France was converted and taken, and like there's this whole story behind it. Deterrence doctrine. Although nuclear weapons are viewed as the ultimate guarantor of Israeli security as early as the 1960s, the country avoided building its military around them, instead pursuing absolute conventional superiority so as to forestall the last resort nuclear engagement. Sure. The original conception of the Samson option was only as a deterrent, according to American journalist Seymour Hersh and Israeli historian Avner Cohen. Israeli leaders like David Ben-Gurion, Shimon Peres, Levi Eshkol, and Moshe Dayan coined the phrase in the mid-60s. How did they all coin the phrase? And that seemed weird? Isn't coined the phrase COIGNED? Isn't that coined spelled differently? They named it after the biblical figure Samson, who pushed apart the pillars of the Philistine temple, bringing down the roof and killing himself and thousands of Philistines who had captured him, mutilated him, and gathered to see him further humiliated in chains as retribution for his massacres of their people. Literally, I've never heard that last part put in the story. I've always heard about Samson, pulling the towers down, and because he was being persecuted, because he was Jewish, not because he had massacred a bunch of people. That's so fucked up. That's so fucked up. They contrasted it with the ancient siege of Masada, where 936, not 35, not 34, not 37, 936 Jewish Sicarii committed mass suicide rather than be defeated and enslaved by the Romans. Oh. They're so noble. They're so much better than us. They committed suicide instead of being captured by the Romans. Oh, 936. So the Romans went by 1, 2. Mark this down. In 2025, they need to be able to know it was exactly 936. Such bullshit. What do you think about Muslims? Why do you care? One day you will be famous. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? I'm censored to the bejesus. The only way that could even come close to happening is if you guys actually do your part, which is share, which is help. Share my shit. Fucking share my shit. Take 2 seconds and click share and then share it on Facebook. If you need to, say this guy's crazy. Whatever you have to do, but share my shit. I already should be. I already should be one of these people that everybody knows about. I should be a Nick Fuentes. I've been doing this for a very long time. I've had insane numbers at certain points, but then they censor me down to this bullshit all the time. Along with the music, I should already be there, dude. Sorry. And as far as Islam goes, Islam is one of the 3 Abrahamic religions. Christianity, Islam, those are the slave religions, and Judaism. Judaism being the direct descendant of Abraham. Abraham is the father of them. Subsequently making Islam and Christianity the slave religions, the ones that they gave to the slaves. Because as your fucking silly Bible says, if you're not one of the chosen, you're one of the slaves. It's just that simple. But Islam literally doesn't affect me. Islam does nothing to affect my life. I live outside of Dearborn, and the only time Dearborn is ever a problem is when, like what's happening now, white people come in trying to be racist. And it creates problem. But the Dearborn is never an issue. Sure, some of the Habibis are, kind of dicks, but there's dicks everywhere. I don't fear Islam nearly as much as I fear Christianity, and nearly as much as I fear Judaism. When I look at literally everything negative that's happened in especially this country, it's all surface Christianity underneath friars, underneath Judaism. It's always the same. Muslims have never done shit to us. Muslims have never made our lives bad. Muslims didn't even do 9/11, even though they got blamed for it. Funny how Glenn Beck and Ben Shapiro have gone silent about Jeffrey and the Friars. I don't even watch. I don't care. Ben Shapiro is a ghoul, a monster, Just a horrible, horrible, horrible human being. I can't stand Ben Shapiro. I wish it was Shapiro that got Kirked, but you knew that would never happen. They're not going to take their own out. That's why they made a Charlie Kirk, is so they wouldn't have to take out one of their own. What you doing, little puss? What you doing, little puss? In an article titled Last Secret of the Six-Day War, the New York Times reported that in the days before the 1967 Six-Day War, Israel planned to insert a team of paratroopers by helicopter into the Sinai. Their mission was to set up and remotely detonate a nuclear bomb on a mountaintop as a warning to belligerent surrounding states. While outnumbered, Israel effectively eliminated the Egyptian Air Force and occupied the Sinai. Yeah, outnumbered until the Americans came in and fixed that. Winning the war before the test could even be set up. It's amazing how many of those stories exist. Well, they were about to, but then they succeeded. Retired Israeli Brigadier General Yitzhak Yaakov referred to this operation as the Israeli Samson option. It's weird that they would keep calling different things the same thing, almost like they're trying to water it down, almost like they're trying to create confusion. In the 1973 Yom Kippur War, Arab forces were overwhelming Israeli forces, and Prime Minister Golda Meir authorized a nuclear alert and ordered 13 atomic bombs be readied for use by missiles and aircraft. The Israeli ambassador informed President Richard Nixon that, quote, very serious conclusions may occur if the United States did not airlift supplies. Nixon complied. This is seen by some commenters on the subject as the first threat of use of the Samson option. So there you go. That's what I was trying to get to with that. Israel was fitting to lose that war, the Yom Kippur War. And they could have, just done the nuclear thing, I guess, if they had it. And they would have fixed the problem. And yet, because they threatened to use nuclear shit against the Arabs, the United States stepped in and airlifted them a shit ton of supplies so that they wouldn't have to use the means. Like, they're still killing people. The supplies weren't like food and medicine and shit. The supplies were weaponry. We airlifted the means to kill lots of Arabs to the Israelis. So why? Don't you think that's strange? But see, I think it works kind of like the Iron Dome, right? Matters is if people believe it's true. If you believe that Israel has this Samson option that they're just dying to use, that they just can't wait to execute, and that if any sort of threat comes their way, they're going to unleash nuclear hell on everyone, because that's what would happen, You launch a bunch of nukes, that's going to affect everyone. You're much less likely to attack, thinking that there's going to be a worse response, right? If you believe Israel has an Iron Dome, a David sling, and an arrow, which is the 3 levels of missile defense Israel is supposed to have: Iron Dome short range, David sling mid range, and arrow for the long range. And you've seen countless videos of supposedly Hamas and Hezbollah launching missiles into Israeli airspace, way up high into the Israeli airspace, only so that it can be shot down. Why would you ever waste munitions? Munitions are expensive. Why would anybody, knowing that nothing's going to happen because the Iron Dome is in the way, why would anybody bother to shoot any sort of missiles or anything at Israel? They've beat you before you even started. The thing is, this last year, Iran proved that the Iron Dome is bullshit. And I've been saying this for years. The Iron Dome that we've seen is just Israel shooting rockets into agreed upon coordinates so that they can be shot down to be presented as, look at this Iron Dome defense system. But when they were supposedly actually attacked by Iran, what happened? Did you notice that the footage of the attacks in Israel from Iran showed huge mansions as far as the eye could see? And it was these mansions that supposedly got hit. Don't we have an Iron Dome in the United States? No. Trump wants to make the Golden Dome here, though. We don't need one. Can anybody tell me the last time a missile hit somewhere in the United States? A missile was launched from somewhere else and hit the United States? You'll find that before you find an example of Israel helping the United States. There's according to AI. I asked AI for credible examples of Israel helping the United States. And when they tried to provide me with some bullshit, I called AI out and I said, no, those are just claims. There's no evidence that any of that shit took place. And that doesn't help the average American, let alone the United States. There was a hurricane and Israel sent some workers, some aid workers to help. Well, how do I know that's true? That's just a claim. They could easily just say that bullshit. And when I said that to AI was like, you're right. You're exactly correct. I did just make a claim without providing any evidence. What I should have said is there are no concrete examples of Israel helping the United States that match your criteria, it said. My criteria being something provable. That's true. We're probably the safest country, honestly. By far. By far. We do have the golden arches, but everybody has the golden arches. They have the golden arches. I have the golden arcs. We both have 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions. But theirs is on a sesame seed bun. Mine, no seeds. Well, I work at McDowell's, so you can kiss my ass. You know, the thing I'm seeing that's very concerning to me, like, you would think at this point I'd be a pig in shit, right? Literally everything I've been saying for all these years, despite the fact that even my supporters were saying, no, dude, you should focus on this. You should focus on that. And go back to talking about chemtrails and all these other things. And I said, no. This is the thing. If you want to talk about any of those other things, there's lots of people out there talking about those things. Go talk to one of them. I'm going to continue talking about this. You would think I'd be sitting here in this, I told you, I'm right. Now look, everybody's on my side. But everybody's not on my side. Everybody is saying, like, still half truth. The biggest shit talkers of Israel, the Stu Petersons, the Ian Carrolls, Nick Fuentes's, the Dan Blazarians, the conservative twins, those happy twins, Jake Shields. I mean, you name it, top to bottom. They're all, if you're watching like a video that has thousands of views and it's talking bad about Israel, more than likely that person is going to have a cross on. They're going to believe in Jesus. They're going to be Christians. I talked to press control guy. We had a topic of me. He said if you look at Israel, they don't sell cow meat there, and that we aren't really eating cow. It's impossible that we are. Same thing with chicken. Same thing with pork. All of it. Everybody should look up Rabbi Finkelstein. And the only response that's ever been sort of debunked given to that is that, oh, it was fake. It was a satire. There was nobody can ever point to a Rabbi Finkelstein that's ever existed. That's hard to believe. But Rabbi Finkelstein called into this. He was doing a phone interview with this Christian host, and he was saying, we feed your people. Like, well over 1 million people go missing every year and never get found. They never show back up. Where are they going? According to him, they're feeding us back to us through shit like McDonald's. And I've always been fascinated by the idea that it was this way for a long time. It's not this way anymore. Since Trump became president, things have changed dramatically in this regard. But forever, you could get a double cheeseburger for 99 cents. And that always fascinated me, because there's literally no amount of ingredients, like bulk, that I could buy at home to be able to duplicate that, to be able to make double cheeseburgers for 99 cents. 2 patties, cheese. I can't remember if the old school double cheeseburgers had 2 slices of cheese or just 1. But pickles, onions, ketchup, mustard, and a bun for 99 cents. Where's the profit? Like, how could anybody even make any profit on that? It's like a joke. It's just a joke. But when you start thinking about, like, you could get a double cheeseburger at any time of the day. It could be 4 a.m. and you go to the McDonald's and double cheeseburger and they got one ready for you. There's just not enough cows to compensate. Do you know the amount of cows that would have to be consistently being slaughtered? The amount of pigs, the amount of chickens that would have to be consistently being slaughtered so you could, go to the store and buy a bag of drumlets. Half truths and whole lies on people. And if you look at the amount of burgers sold versus cows killed, there's way more burgers than cows, and Israel is healthier, and that we are eating little kids. I don't know about healthier, but they're not eating the kids. Well, not per se. I mean, the one thing that's been attached to them forever is something called blood libel. And blood libel has now been taken by them. It's kind of like anti-Semitism was taken by them. The original use of anti-Semitism was exactly what it means. Semitism being policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. Anti-Semitism opposing that, saying, hey, we're all equal. Why should they have policy or predisposition? The predisposition being so important in that statement. Predisposition, if your father's family all has, cancer, then you have a predisposition to cancer. It's not something that's learned. It's something that just sort of is and is genetically passed down. That's pretty fucked up to say that you have this favor that is genetically passed down. It's not learned. It's just the way it is. Like, that's some fucked up shit, right? And so anti-Semitism in the 1880s, supposedly, was coined for just that, to oppose this supremacy that is policy or predisposition favorable to you. That's supremacy. That's just a nice way of saying supremacy. And so eventually, at some point, they took over that term and now they use it to their advantage. That's anti-Semitism. When the reality is, it's a true statement. If they accuse you of anti-Semitism, that's actually true. You should be proud of it. You should say, yes, I know you would prefer me to just shut up and not talk about things. That goes with your favoritism. But I don't agree. I don't believe anybody is supreme or deserves any sort of favor. I think we're all equal. So if we're all equal, then yes, I am anti your supremacy. But that's, this is how they've manipulated us into believing, weird shit, right? Conspiracy theory and stuff like that. But anti-Semitism was taken, as well as blood libel. Blood libel is this term that supposedly dates back 1,000+ years or more. And it's them kidnapping Christian children, draining them of their blood, discarding the body in a place where they know people will find it, and using their blood, baking the blood into the matzah, into the bread for rituals. That's what the term means. Like, that's where it came from. And it's been an accusation as long as the history that they want to tell us is, strangely enough. And yet nowadays, when people talk bad about Israel, they go, "Oh, that's blood libel." And you go, like, "Oh, well, I know." Like, they've tricked you into thinking, into not using these terms, into these terms not being something that describes, that makes you realize you've stumbled across something different. And if it's different, you should be sharing it. Let's see. Scrap that's used as vastly waste product that's treated, then cut with filling. Textured vegetable protein, but that also costs money to make. It's soy-based, but has to be farmed and processed, so I'm not sure it costs less than farm meat. Blood war, where was that? Blood war? What are you talking about? There was a time maybe 12, 14 years ago when taco beef wasn't 100% beef, so they illegally had to call it artificially flavored beef until they put more beef percentage in their meat to make it legally call it meat. I mean, for anybody to have to be told not to eat fast food, like, again, fast food is a profit-based industry. They're not there to be your fucking healthy this, that, and the other, your healthy option. How do they get to sell that shit? No regs in the right places. Because it's all the same conspiracy. Why do you think my response to what should we do about this, that, or the other is always the same? Because all of these industries, all of these regulations, all the policing, all of the manufacturing, all of it is controlled by the same fucking group, the same cult. We have to wake up to this. It's hard when you work there and get it for free. Imagine. But you don't get it for free. The only way you get it for free is if you steal it, right? Because McDonald's won't let you eat old food. McDonald's won't let you eat screwed up orders. You have to throw it all out. Audience. So, Friars, grape kids, us Americans just eat them. No, we do everything. We are awful. But this is the part, like, this is the bottom of darkness. The Israeli Israel Hayom, Bottom of Darkness article is the key. Like, have you guys noticed how nobody has even attempted to prove me wrong on this thing? When it comes to this particular subject, all of the trolls run away. They all hide. Or they'll go into overdrive trying to change the subject and trying to say stupid shit. How come nobody... If this is a pretty, like... This is a pretty far-fetched conspiracy theory, right? This is a theory that I've come up with that I believe explains everything. But it goes against conventional wisdom in every aspect. It goes against the way that we're supposed to think, talk, all that shit. It's not like I'm getting it from some Alex Jones or from some conspiracy theorist, whatever. No, this is my own personal work based off of the information that they want us to know. So simple. It's not about Alex Jones made a video about this, so now I'm just paraphrasing and regurgitating. Oh, this is some anti-Semitism article that you're reading from. You're quoting sources that are anti-Semitic. Nope. Israel Hayom is Israel's #1 free weekly propaganda page. Distributed to the population for free. Like a weekly newspaper, sorta, but it's free and it's given to the people. And it's Sheldon Adelson's baby. Like, when I first learned about this, Trump hadn't said on fucking TV, there's Miriam Adelson, $60 million in the bank, more loyal to Israel than the United States. Her and her husband, they probably came to the White House more than anybody, and they would come without appointments. He would call me and say, I need to see you. And I would say, you can't, I'm the president. You can't just do that. And he would just show up. And I would, and he is the reason why I said, acknowledged or what's the word? I don't know, but said Jerusalem was the new capital because of them. Like he flat out lays it out that this person, this couple, this absolute Zionist, proud Zionist couple would go to the White House and have meetings with the president whenever they want to. But he died a couple of years ago. Sheldon Adelson. But when I first read this article, I didn't know all the connections. I just knew it was fucked up. The more I learn about this, it's not like it's opening up. I had this misconception at first, and the more I learn, the more I made a mistake. Oh, okay. No, the more I learn, the more powerful it all becomes. Israel Hayom is not some fly-by-night paper. Israel Hayom literally has zero goyim working in any capacity whatsoever. From editors to photographers to the website people, any of it. We don't work there. So every standard argument that comes my way, oh, well, that's just blah, blah, blah. You just read something and you just believe it because you read it? This isn't random. And it explains everything. And it's led me to my conclusion, I guess. After everything that's gone on, after everything that's happened, outside of the overthrow, the next best solution to me to fix the majority of the problems in the world is to protect the Jewish children. Who the fuck ever would have thought they heard me say that? That ends up being the end goal. Right now, that to me is the most important thing, is that we protect the Jewish children, the Israeli Jewish children. How can anybody be against me? Especially them. I mean, this is a huge revelation, to be honest. I can't prove you wrong, but you can't prove it right. Unfortunately, all conspiracy unless facts come out. Unfortunately, Trump's Epstein files is a conspiracy, even though I think his ass is the Epstein files themselves. Epstein is just a distraction. Do you understand that we wouldn't know about Epstein if they didn't want us to know about Epstein? Epstein wasn't famous. Epstein wasn't some personality that everybody knew and was like, hey, what's up with that guy? We would have never heard about this. Just like so many other times when a rich, powerful guy gets caught fucking with children or anything like that, we never hear about it because it's all just under the, especially when they're a friar and the friar papers and all that don't choose to cover it. We know about Epstein. We're also focused on a dead guy for a reason. And as far as proving anything correct, I mean, do I have a piece of paper that says Guy Williams is correct about everything he has, there's evidence behind it, signed Donald J. Trump? No. Would you believe it if I did? No. But this is where I require from you common sense. And if you can't prove me wrong, that proves me right. If you can't make any reasonable arguments against what I'm saying, that just proves it right. And I'm trying to make things make sense that don't make sense. Because outside of the Israel Hayom thing, you don't look at the situation going on in Israel right now and it makes sense. You don't look at how all the videos that have settlers in them. I mean, the settlers are seriously just the absolute worst people. And especially when they rise to power like an Itmar Ben-Gvir or a Bezalel Smotrich. These are just awful, awful, awful human beings. And there is endless videos out there that show you the depravity of these people. Just how horrible these people are. And people love to, it's the Zionists. It's the Zionists. You can't blame the Zionists. All the people that are, the civilians that are sitting in the aid trucks in the middle of the street, blocking the aid trucks from coming through, and or destroying the aid that's on the trucks, beating up the fucking drivers and shit. These aren't Zionists. These are just regular people. And you have to ask yourself, it's one thing, I guess, for you to say, well, I don't care. It doesn't affect me, so I don't care. But for you to actively prevent aid, medicine, and food and shit from getting to starving, hurt children, how many of you could do that? I've said this before. I could absolutely hate one of my neighbors, right? But if I came home from somewhere and I saw their kid sitting out on the porch, the lights were all off, no cars were in the driveway, they looked like they were crying or something, I wouldn't be like, oh, well, you're the kid of the guy I hate, so fuck you. I'd say, hey, dude, you need some help? You need to make a phone call or something? I'd do what I could to help that child. How many of you think, oh, fuck it. Fuck the children. Fuck them. Destroy them. They're the children of my enemies. They're going to rise up against me, so destroy them. I mean, if you even hear me, do you guys not hear what I'm saying? I'm not saying eliminate those children of the friars because they're going to grow up to be the next generation of monsters, which is It's fucking true. No, I say to you, we need to protect them. Because maybe if we protect them, they won't be the monsters. They put it out back, and people. I mean, all the food that isn't eaten should be put out back so the homeless can get it. And when they say, oh, well, they can't because the homeless could come back and sue if they got sick. How about we just make laws that say if you eat food that you find out back from somewhere and something bad happens to you, food poisoning wise or something, you can't sue. If somebody personally, like purposefully poisons you, that's a different story. But to be like, well, the law says, well, we can manipulate, we can change, we can add things to it. And to just say, no, we can't feed destitute people with fucking mental disorders who can't work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, who can't hold down a house and bills and all that, who are capable of living out on the streets and not... That guy's just supposed to pull it together and work 40 hours a week and get a good job and pay his light bill? No. Deserve to fucking die from starvation? Fuck no. You know what it reminds me of? It just I can't stand this more than I can't. It bothers me more than a lot of things. And you're gonna be like, what? When the Wounded Warriors commercials come on TV, I fucking hate it. I just, the audacity of you sent this man. You don't see too many women on the Wounded Warriors thing. You sent this man to go to whatever place this was, more than likely on Israel's behalf, and you got this man killed. Or you got this man fucked up. Why would I have to, I'm barely making it. Now you're going to try to make me feel guilty that I should be giving money to this dude who signed up so they could go kill people? Because let's just be honest. If you've joined the military in the last 50 fucking years, you knew there was a good chance you were going to be killing brown people, and that didn't bother you. I think at 18, you're still pretty dumb, and you're still full of all that patriotism bullshit, and you're a kid, you haven't bothered to... If you're the type of person that joins the military at 18, it's not because you were a straight A student. It's not because you're a history major and you've learned that it's all Israeli bullshit and you're not fighting for our freedom or our safety in any capacity. And I think once you get into your 20s, you start to realize that. But at 18, you're still just a young buck. You're in rut, You want to bang your head into other fucking shit. You want to fight. You want to, you're full of testosterone. And I think you can easily be brainwashed into the patriotism and, they died for your freedom. Jesus died for your sins. So you've already sort of been programmed with this backstory that you then supported. Well, they died for our freedom. The Americans are the oppressors in every fucking situation we're involved in. We have sided with the bad guys against the indigenous population every single time. I'm closer. I'm a closer. A lot of the leftover food we take, also our McDonald's, will keep some food and freeze it and will donate it to the food bank. What he means by protecting the friar children and convert them to, drumroll please, Christian. Yeah, that's what I mean. Are you fucking stupid? Like, this is the problem I always have with Christians. It's this inability to actually be able to engage in this debate, in this conversation. You know, every single one of these dumbass truthers that's telling you the truth is also gearing up for this Christian verse kind of thing. And it's like, why don't any of you really, really smart guys like Ian Carroll, like fucking Nick Fuentes, like Dan Lazarian, like Stu Peters, why don't you guys look into Christianity? Why don't you scrutinize and be skeptical towards Christianity in the same way you are towards everything else? And it's because they don't want. And more than likely, if there's somebody that both of us know on social media, it's because they want us to know who they are. Listen, at this point, especially if you followed me for any lengthy period of time, if you are sitting here wondering why this fucking guy has 5 likes and 7 viewers, when the guy putting the rubber bands on the watermelon has thousands, you know, there are plenty of people out there talking about conspiracy, this and that. You want to have a really popular video, make it an Epstein video. There doesn't seem to be any restriction against that. The main difference being between me and everybody else is they're all Christians. They're all blind faith fucking Christians. And I don't even think about converting anybody. I don't think we converting the friar children to anything. I want to stop them from getting raped and then being forced to rape other children when they get old enough. That's what I want to protect them from. Everything else comes after that. Yeah, some of my nieces and nephews get a lot of food out back of the market. There's a lot of very hungry, improperly housed young adults out there right now. Many are in perilous situations. Many are in perilous. Right. While we consistently give money to Israel, $3.8 billion cash every year in the first fiscal month of the year. So January, February, I don't actually know what the first fiscal month of the year is. It might be the Israeli year, which is later on, I believe. But $3.8 billion a year base, that's just the base. It's by the end of the year, it's many billions more every single year. And it's about to be a lot more since Trump is about to sign the new memorandum of understanding that they're trying to extend to a 20-year period instead of the typical 10-year, because I think they realize that like the next generations coming in are not Israel friendly. And if they somehow make it law or something, maybe it'll be harder for us to overturn it, or I don't know. But they're trying to make it a 20-year gig. I'd rather support our starving, hurt children in America first than any other country. So many times I've walked up to the sidewalk in Seattle and people ask me if I want to donate to help kids in a different country. I don't care where your parents had sex. Like this notion that somehow you are more connected to people in America than you are somewhere, children in America. That's arrogance and stupidity. There are kids everywhere. It doesn't matter where their parents happen to have sex because their parents happen to have sex and their parents, they shouldn't be starving. And we live in a time and an era where we have the means, technology, and resources that nobody should, in fact, be suffering. So much food gets thrown away every single day by the system, let alone us. But to me, it doesn't matter whether you're American or Filipino or Iranian or Australian, or I gave you 3 examples. Now, you can use the rest. Any country. It doesn't matter. We need to be protecting the children. We need to be protecting the people. Everybody's the child of somebody. And most people are victims. Most people are the victims of society. There are very, very few actual leaders in societies. Most people are just following along, hoping they don't get focused on. Why not help someone get there? No matter how good you're in, there will always be homeless, starving people. And it's that mindset that keeps things going because you've been programmed to think that way. If it was common practice, if it was just the set standard that at the end of every work day, whenever any place closes, the food that they would normally throw out, they allow people to take. With all the restaurants and all the food service industry that exists everywhere, nobody would have to starve. And yes, there would be a small percentage of people that would take advantage of that. But because a small percentage would take advantage, that doesn't negate the rest of the percentage that would be benefited and helped tremendously from that. For all you know, feeding people leads to them being able to fix their situation. Malnourishment affects you on so many levels that if somebody is malnourished, expecting them to just get up and get a job and go get yourself an apartment, no, it's really hard to do. It's because they don't really teach history. I'm skeptical of all religion because I'm not religious. I'm skeptical of all religion because I'm not stupid. If I was religious, I would be even more skeptical. Me personally, if I'm going to associate or identify as something, associate with or identify as, I'm going to be extremely skeptical. I want all of my doubts shattered before I, agree to sign up to anything. And if I was religious, if I was a Christian, I would have, I would be asking these questions even louder than I am. What's the solution? There are lots of solutions, but the main solution is that we, Goyim, unify and overthrow the friars that control the narrative. It is the same solution to every problem because it's all connected. And those who don't think it is or who want to, you're just not there yet. And I'm sorry, you will be. Eventually you'll realize I'm right about this too. You know how eventually you realize I've been right about all that other stuff, that there's not a single thing you can point to that I've been wrong about? Well, whatever thing you're disagreeing with now, you'll realize it. The watermelon is going to bust at some point. You're going to bust. Okay. I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. Why'd you be proud of something you have nothing to do with? It's not an accomplishment. Racial and civic pride are the dumbest things in the world. The only reason why, people of color having pride in who they are is a thing is because for generations, white people tried to diminish their value by saying, you're a person of color, you have nothing to be proud of. So I get that happened. And I get that it still does happen to a very large extent in our culture today. But at the end of the day, it's I'm proud to be black and from Detroit. So your parents had sex in Detroit. Is that what you're saying? Did your grandparents have sex here too? Don't talk about my... I'm going to save my pride for things that I accomplish. For things that I have something to do with. Not for things that just happen. Man, I sure am proud. I breathe. I sure am proud I have 2 eyes. Man. I'm so proud of my 2 eyes. You guys see these? I have 2 eyes. You guys see that? You're just fortunate. You're just lucky. You're lucky that you happen to be born here. That's all. And the thing is, if you were born anywhere else, you'd be just as proud to be from there, because civic pride is a weapon that's been pushed on everybody. We're all supposed to think that where our grandparents had sex it matters. Oh, the men who died and gave me that right and gave that right for me. Blah blah. You're doing song lyrics. We get you. I'm seriously, but people seriously died for quote unquote. No, they didn't. Nobody died for our freedom. That's stupid. Our freedom. The only time your freedom is ever in danger is by the American system itself. Right now, with ICE running around everywhere and all that other shit, that's what you're in danger of. You're not in danger from any Muslims. You're not in danger from any other country. No other country can even affect you. What has you in more danger than anything else in this world is your local police. And I know that's not something that you hear people say, and it's not a popular opinion, but tell me how it's not true. Maybe fentanyl, because if you're in that drug world, then fentanyl can be in everything, and that's pretty dangerous. But that sure isn't talked about very much. The fentanyl thing is very much under the cover. Hey, how does fentanyl get into everything? Shh. How does fentanyl get into supposedly pharmaceutical grade products? They don't want us talking about that. But the reality is, you probably don't interact with gangsters, with hoods, with thugs. You're not down in the middle of the hood somewhere on a daily basis, interacting with thugs and hoods and whatnot that are, one slip up and you could get the wrong end of something. No. Most of you live in a very small bubble. And the only real danger that you're in is, either A, other cars, or B, getting pulled over by some dickhead. You have no idea. Say his wife he just found out his wife was cheating, and the guy she was cheating with happens to look just like you. Say the guy has a tiny penis. Say he's 5'2" and you're my size. The reality is, cops can kill you for nothing and get away with it. Even if they fuck up. Even if they say, oh, well, I thought he had a gun. Oh, I thought he did this. Oh, I thought he did that. But the camera shows to the contrary. Doesn't matter. That motherfucker has qualified immunity. There isn't years of training, like, to be a barber or something like that. 6 months. 6 months at the academy, and you're given a gun and a badge and told, okay, try not to shoot too many people. There are stories where a cop is driving and texting at the same time, blows a light and kills somebody or hurts somebody real bad. Do they get held responsible? No. They didn't have their lights on. Yeah, well, mistakes happen. I heard a guy once on Ukraine. Shut up, fool. You acknowledge who you are by saying stupid shit. You agree with me for once? So all those times when I said we should kill pedos, guess you didn't agree with that, huh? Guess you don't agree with the stopping the genocide thing. Guess you don't agree with making everyone's lives better. Nope. For once, I agree with you because America and not Ukraine and we America. Fucking stupid. Over 30% of the food in America goes to waste. That's just insane. And our freedoms isn't based on feeding other countries. What? What does that even fucking mean? Again, do you guys think that that person's white? White Christian male? Gee, I wonder. Don't forget to pull a license and a permit for your freedom. And while you're there, don't forget you have to get your driver's license to be able to drive in the car that you paid for, that you have to get new tabs on every year, so you're allowed to drive, and that you have to pay the insurance for that you never ever use, but you have to pay out the ass for the insurance so that you're allowed to drive your car. And your registration and all that. Don't forget to renew your registration so you're allowed to drive your car, to go get your permits, to build a house or something on your own land that you supposedly think you own, that, you better pay your taxes on every year. Because if you don't pay your taxes, well, then they'll come take that land that you own. There's a solution, but when it comes to our government, the American democracy, despite sides left or right, and it's in writing that the government protocol that puts itself above the citizens to make sure its existence survives. Sure. Which is stupid. That's why we have a right to bear arms. The right to bear arms has nothing to do with defending your home from an intruder or hunting for food. The right to bear arms is so that the citizens can revolt against a tyrannical government that's doing crazy shit to them. It takes a big chunk of yourself to become a United States Marine, and that's something to be proud of. What? It takes a big chunk of yourself to become a United... to become a robot? It takes a big bunch of brainwashing to do something so stupid. Especially when you consider the fact that to be involved in any military, you literally sign over your power of attorney to yourself. You're not allowed to refuse any sort of shots they want to give you. If they want to give you the COVID shot, they're giving you the COVID shot. If they want to, they come up with this is a new thing that's going to protect you against this. You're taking it. They don't even tell you what it is. They just say, go to the doctory and get your fucking meds, and you go get your shot and you shut the fuck up about it. We are so lucky to have the freedom to not engage in organized religion. That's true. Yeah, I guess. I mean, you have the freedom to, but you don't live in a society that accommodates that. If you ever see somebody with a Protect Our Religious Freedom sign in their yard, it's not because they're an atheist. It's not because they're talking about protect Muslims' rights. It's because they're Christians who have been told that they're not allowed to do something anymore. That's the only time you see that. To say no one died for you, bro, living in America and saying no other country can touch you. You know how? They died and fought to own this land and run this country, which is more free than other. Yep, they fought and died against who? The thing is, you don't even know the history. And then to think that it's accurate is foolish. It's just foolish. It doesn't make any sense. But nobody has fought and died for my freedom. My freedom has never been in danger other than from my society that would falsely arrest me and give me 3 felonies and raid my house and do all these things based off of nothing. Based off of a very poor investigation. If those were really detectives, they did a shitty job.
Oh, for the raid?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because when it came to me, it literally would have taken you
10 minutes at most.
Yeah, 10 minutes to figure out it wasn't true. I could have shown you in 2 minutes if it was true or not. But that's not how it works. I know a teacher from Czech who got you. Oh, okay.
Who got what?
To say that you're, Y-O-U-R, not free is crazy to me. I'm not. I have an illusion of freedom, but I'm not free. If I don't cut my grass, I'm going to have somebody come and give me tickets. If I don't pay said tickets, I will get arrested for not cutting my grass. If I try to leave said country, I'm not allowed to. I have to go through some sort of checkpoint that probably won't let me leave. I definitely don't have the free speech that they pretend like we do. Yeah. Free speech is a fucking joke. When the president of the United States is destroying the Constitution, and not just the Constitution, First Amendment of said Constitution to protect a foreign body, yeah, there's something wrong there. You're not free. WCW was way better than WWF. For a minute, yes. I agree with you. Guy missed the point because he takes sides on viewpoints instead of viewing situations as a whole. Yep, that's what I'm doing. That's fucking silly. Yep, I take sides. You know me, I'm a big side taker. Alright, sorry about that. Sorry, but my dog kept knocking my texting. My freedom isn't in danger. Less than 2 minutes. I'm not free. Do you not understand like what's being said, or are you just picking and choosing so it works for you? My freedom has never been in danger. The illusion of freedom that I do have has never been in danger from a foreign entity. Am I truly free? No. But like this is like flat out stupidity, because flat out stupidity doesn't answer for things. Notice how even when flat out stupidity says something stupid, I still respond to it. I still, and more than anything, I'm going to point out how you're stupid. I'm going to engage in the argument that you make and then point out exactly how you're stupid. You just see these dumb, desperate things, acting like you don't understand what's being said. When people are being arrested for protesting against Israel, you're not free. It's all an illusion. You have the illusion of freedom. And it's nice. It's better than it is in a lot of places. But there are a lot of places where it's a lot better than here. That's for damn sure. Now, if you start falling for the governmental, well, at least here you can vote. Yeah, your vote doesn't fucking matter. If 2016 didn't show you that voting is an illusion, you're not paying attention. I would never sign up with the leader we have. There's never been a leader that is good enough. Obama was close, but that's because they made him be that way. They presented him as a certain way. But at the end of the day, Obama's like the second worst president we ever had, or we've had in modern times. And that's because he signed the Monsanto Protection Act. And the Monsanto Protection Act makes Monsanto its own entity. It polices itself. It controls everything about itself. That's pretty fucked up. That's something nobody talks about. When people talk about Obama, they talk about, Michelle's a man. Because even if Obama was gay and Michelle was a man, that would literally affect nothing. That wouldn't change a damn thing. That just bother all you white dudes that were like, yeah, I'd bang her. I planned on Marine, then crossing over to Army for the Rangers. I'm glad I didn't. Yeah, you better believe it. How many military people have you ever talked to, especially older ones, that are like, man, I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad I signed up and was sent off to war somewhere. Sworn oath. We all sworn oath to protect this country from foreign and domestic, and Trump is the domestic as you can get. Right. What did you guys see that shit? That football game? The Lions Commanders game where Trump was booed to fucking bejesus? The thing is, nobody was talking about what he said. What he said was he asked not just the people there, but the people watching to raise their right hand and swear an oath to uphold the Constitution and defend it against all enemies, foreign and domestic, while also following the orders of the President of the United States. Pretty fucked up. You contradict yourself. Of course you're not free, but you're more free than another country. Stupid. Yep, I'm contradicting myself. Look at how desperate this person is to try to win something. Do other people have an idea? Like, are other people having trouble understanding that whole point? Do you understand what I mean when I say that we have more freedoms than other places, but we're not free? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it difficult? Do you need me to explain any more to you, or do you get it?
I understand.
Especially considering how I have explained it multiple times. You get it, right? And she's a girl. Oh, that was so perfect. I'm sorry, that was rude. She's a female. And someone fought for that. Yep. You believe that? What they did was they got in big long lines with their guns, with knives on the end of the guns, and they just ran out. Run! They ran out into the field, and then they got mowed down. And then the next battalion would line up and run out into the field, and you would be able to overtake them. Yep. I believe that. I believe that for generation after generation after generation, no military strategist thought, hey, why don't we flank them and go around the side? Hey, why don't we do this? Hey, why don't we do that? No. What we do is we get in a big long line and we just run. Blah! And then don't worry, because we've given you a pencil and a piece of paper, so when you get shot and you're dying on the battlefield, you can write a letter to your loved ones. And then at nighttime, when we clear the battlefield because of the truce that we have, we'll collect all your belongings and make sure your wife gets your letter. My dearest beloved, I am forlorn to inform you of my imminent demise. As I watch the sun cascade over the shadows, over the clouds, creating the shadows that remind me of a beauty that is only encapsulated by your face. I am remiss to the awareness that I shall never see your beautiful face. And then he writes out the little line. And they all spoke like Shakespearean actors back then. None of them were like, hot damn, baby, I done been shots in my booty hole.
Not even them ones from the South.
None of them. They all wrote eloquent. Yeah. And people were like, okay, I'll be the 3rd battalion to run out there in a straight line after I watch those other 2 lines get mowed down. As long as you promise me you're going to get my piece of paper and then save it so that it can be looked at when Guy Williams is in school. It's totally believable. It's totally believable that all these non-soldiers, all these random farmers and shit that supposedly joined, that they were like, okay, are you sure? I just watched those other 2 battalions get mowed down. You're saying we should do the same thing? We shouldn't try any... Okay. All right, give me my gun. Run! And the thing is, literally, that's how people have been fighting since there were dragons and shit. Because if you watch that fucking Game of Thrones like my wife did, you'll see every time there was a battle, there would be one big line, and they would run down and fight the other big line, and they'd be and edits like crazy. Yeah, yeah, and the swords and the chopping and the yeah. It's fucking stupid. You know what they never showed you in Game of Thrones? The construction of one of those massive towers, massive castles that they built, that they had everywhere. And now I know Game of Thrones is a joke. I get it. But it does reflect our historical narrative because it's very similar. It's similar. Military hasn't fought for America in a long time, if ever. Because again, anytime the military has supposedly fought for America, this is supposedly way before any of us were alive. In World War II, that freedom was in danger. Comments could be argued. The aftermath from that even shaped where we are today. Oh yeah, we were in so much danger in World War II. When we let Pearl Harbor happen, like when you think about it, that's like the worst foreign attack that's ever happened. And what it was, you know, the furthest that you could get, which is Hawaii. Of course, no planes flew from Japan to Hawaii back then. There had to be some sort of aircraft carrier, but I meant to look that up. I meant to do the deep dive into aircraft carriers the other day, and I got sidetracked. I need to do that again. But I mean, again, it's just your arrogance, right? Because if the same system that tells you, well, in World War II we did this, that, and the other thing, tells you that Oswald shot Kennedy, you're going to be like, stop lying. There's not a person on here that even hesitates to say that the United States government, and subsequently all the rest of the governments, are lying about JFK. Does anybody actually believe in the magic bullet theory? Which is the official explanation is the magic bullet. Do you not, like, you're not insulted by that? The president of the United States was killed by a magic bullet. And it has to be called that because otherwise their narrative falls apart. If the magic bullet doesn't kill Kennedy, then something else happened and they've been lying the whole time. Do any of you still believe that 19 hijackers did 9/11 when several of those hijackers were found alive after the fact? When COVID came out, did you run out and get your vaccine and then get your booster shot and 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 booster shot? Did you do that? No. Why? Because you said, my government is lying to me. They're telling me I should do this, but based on my own observations and my own, whatever, my own arrogance, I'm not going to follow what my government says. And yet when it comes to these big-ass conspiracies, you're like, nah, I'm going to listen to the government on this one. Right? I'm gonna listen to the government on that one. When it comes to the entire Holocaust story, it doesn't stand up to scrutiny. But how many of you still believe it? I mean, I read to you earlier about the Israel nuclear capabilities, where supposedly it's been acknowledged 10 times, different sources inside and outside of Israel, and yet apparently officially we still don't know. Is that what we're saying? You believe that? We don't elect, they select. Exactly. Selected, not elected. Again, 2016 proves it to you without a shadow of a doubt. If you still believe in voting after 2016, you're a dumbass. I don't know how else to put it to you. Maybe you don't know, but it's easy to find that Hillary won the election by 2.7 million votes, the popular vote. There's no other election that takes place where the person that gets the most votes doesn't win. Only 3 times in modern history has the person that got the most votes not won the presidency. The first 2 were George Bush Jr. The third time was Trump. Every other time, the people are capable of picking the president. The popular vote wins. Yet 2.7 million, and I know I don't know how that sounds small to you. Maybe if they say like 2.7 million is what, like 0.5% of the population of the United States, maybe that's when you think it's small or something. But what did we just see? Oh yeah, we just saw a picture of 3 million people in the Philippines that were protesting against Israel. It was a pro-Palestinian protest, and they said 3 million people were there. And it was this picture from real far away, and I mean it took up the entire landscape. As far as you could see, it was a sea of people. 2.7 million people is a fuck. If 2.7 million people gave you $1, you'd be rich. And so for 2.7 million more people to vote for Hillary than they did Trump, and Hillary responded by going, all right, I'll see you guys later. I'm out. And then you have Trump, who loses the 2020 election but makes that big stink out of it. Why didn't Hillary make any sort of stink when she would have gone down as the first female president for all of eternity? She would essentially live forever. Now she'll be forgotten. 100 years from now, people will be like, yeah, that Hillary broad won, maybe, but if they even talk about it. I mean, do you guys talk about the losers of the 1909 election or the 1908 election? You guys even know who won that election? Do you guys even know the participants? No. Hillary would have gone down 500 years from now. They would have talked about the first female president of the United States was Hillary Clinton. And instead of fighting for that honor, which would have been, I put up with Bill, I did all the shit I did, I pretended not to be a lesbian. I went through everything you guys wanted me to go through, and now you're not going to let me be the president? She should have won that shit, and she didn't. And she left. She was like, all right, deuces. And it was that AIPAC swamp that Trump swore he was going to drain. All you supporters that fell, he's going to drain the swamp. He's going to drain the swamp. The swamp put him in charge. Even with the threat of being drained, the swamp put him in charge. Hundreds of thousands of Americans were rounded up and held in internment camps in World War II. Japanese Americans. Anyway, who gives better BJs, Donald Trump or Lana Rhoades? I don't know. Ask Bubba. You know that Lewinsky is a friar? is an Israeli operative, has ties back to Israel, her family, and all that other. Do you know that about Lewinsky? Was that ever brought up? Do you ever remember hearing anything about the poor Jewish girl? Do you ever remember hearing that? The poor Jewish girl that gave the most famous blowjob in history. No, for some reason they didn't want to attach to that thing. Chinese Americans not brought up on charges as held for national security safety. Yeah, oh, it's terrible. Internment camps. But they were the same kind of camps. The supply lines just weren't destroyed. That's literally it. The concentration camps had their own money. Soccer teams, theater groups. If you're building camps to kill people, why are the barracks heated? Why do they have light fixtures? Why do they have running water? If these people are just to be killed, then what the fuck do you care about their conditions? Same situation, different results. You can tell by Michelle's voice that she's a woman. The voice is always the clue. No, it's fucking not. There is no clue. There are trans people out there that you would never fucking know. My wife's got a friend named Daisy that once Daisy's on the juice for a couple of years and her boobies grow in and her facial hair stops coming in and her voice doesn't stay as low, that's going to be a hot chick. That's going to be a chick that many of you would fall for, especially after a drink or two. You'd fall for it now.
If she was all done up.
Right. There is no clue. My wife has a fucking Adam's apple. I've literally seen that broad give birth. I've seen them cut open her stomach and pull a baby out. Twice. But she has an Adam's apple. I've known a couple of chicks that have had Adam's apples. That doesn't mean shit. I knew a set of twins, a He-Man and She-Ra thing, boy and girl twin, right? And the girl had the Adam's apple. You have no rights. The amendments don't mean shit. They don't. The Constitution is a fucking joke. You're telling me I should believe in a document written by rich white slave owners who were drunk and high all the time, and that somehow is relevant in today's society? All men are created equal and all this other bullshit. I'm supposed to believe that bullshit? No. And we live in a society where exigent circumstances take away your rights. If the cops decide that there are exigent circumstances, then your right to, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, all these amendments that you believe you have, the rights to not be searched and seized and all that, they fly out the window. If you are like staying at a hotel or something and there's an active shooter situation, they will come through your hotel room. If there's an active shooter and they don't know where it is, they will come through your house if that's what they feel like doing. All it takes is some random person to be like, I saw him go into that house. And you open the door and say, no, he's not here. And they'll be like, can we check? No, he's not here. I'm sorry, we have to check your situation. And they'll just come in and do it. It's comfort paper meant to give people false security. The Constitution lost its power a long, long time ago. It never had any power. It's just bullshit. No, I don't understand. What other country has more freedom? Denmark? Uh, where are some of those countries they say are just amazing? Denmark. My wife
Norway,
said Norway.
Ecuador.
Ecuador. Ecuador. There are lots of places that have way better quality of life than here. Libya, before we saved Libya from Gaddafi, Libya was the place you wanted to live. Gaddafi was amazing. You know, I mean, if you could just, let's see if I can find this real quick, like. Um, let's see. I want to find the thing where it explains. Maybe if I find a video would be easier.
Remember when King...
Muammar Gaddafi came to power in Libya in 1969, overthrowing King Idris as a young military officer. After the revolution, he declared himself the brother leader and guide of the revolution. Gaddafi introduced his own ideology in the Green Book, combining socialism, Islam, and Arab nationalism, and claimed to have established a system called the Jamahiriya, where the people directly participated in governance. His anti-Western rhetoric and alleged support for terrorist groups made him a
Oh, Jesus. Funny how you can't find real reason.
They said it was about freedom and democracy, but here's what they didn't tell you. Under Gaddafi, Libya had no electricity bills. Power was free for all. Loans came with zero interest, and banks were owned by the people. Newlyweds were gifted $60,000 to start a life. Education and medical treatment were completely free, and literacy rose from 25% to over 80%. If you wanted to farm, the government gave you land, seeds, livestock, even a house, all at no cost. Couldn't get treatment in Libya? The government paid over $2,000 and covered travel abroad. Gasoline cost just 14 cents per liter. Buy a car? The government paid half. Unemployed after graduation? The state paid your average salary until you found a job. Oil profits were deposited directly into citizens' bank accounts. Mothers who gave birth received $5,000. Bread? 40 loaves cost only 15 cents. And Libya had zero debt, with $150 billion in reserves, now frozen globally. Gaddafi also built the world's largest irrigation project to bring water to the desert. A self-reliant Africa was rising, and that is why he had to go.
There you go.
They said it.
That's what happens when somebody tries to do the right thing. He was actually left out of there as he was trying to create Libya's own currency so they could get off of the petrol dollar. The petrol dollar is the currency of the world. Again, you live in a one world system, you just don't understand that. But the petrol dollar is based off the American dollar. And if you want to deal with anybody for any sort of trade of oil or anything like that, it has to be in petrol dollars. So Gaddafi wanted to create the dinar, which was based off of Libya's gold reserves. It wasn't worthless paper like our notes are. And this was to rival the petrol dollar. They wanted to be self-reliant. And the dinar was like the last straw. Wow, I'm down to 0 viewers suddenly. So what, is everybody just getting kicked off? What's happening here? Everybody needs to join the military for a couple of years. It's good for you and still self-respect and respect for others. Instills? No, it doesn't. It breaks you. And again, you are allowed to be injected with whatever the fuck they want to inject you with. I'd rather flip burgers even at McDonald's even versus being in the military nowadays. At least I'd be able to serve my country doing such. Right. You wouldn't be working for Israel. Well, you probably would. Obama passed the Patriot Act. They gave the government the right to take you, not tell you why. Nor tell no one else why. KNOW. Or tell other with an E on the end where you will be held or kept. Right. I love watching her do her makeup. It's so funny to me. Especially the eyelashes, because she goes, and she doesn't like pull it up. She pulls her eyelids down. Watching chicks do makeup. I was watching some K-pop bullshit the other day for this group XO, and one of them was a makeup tutorial by one of the guys in the group, and I mean, these guys are straight up trans, like they try to look like girls, and again, these guys would probably fool you in the bar.
Oh yeah.
But watching this dude put makeup on, I'm thinking, you are a guy. Like, you don't have to do this sociology, like for social, acceptance. Why would you ever put yourself through putting on makeup? It just looks awful.
Oh, it sucks.
Right? It looks
and then
so
when it doesn't
awful.
turn out how you want, like right now, I'm not taking it all off and starting again.
It looks good. Well, I don't know what you're doing. It looks good. I thought it was good what you did with the like blending of the whooshes in the hair. I thought that looked nice. But still, it's just fucking ridiculous.
Right here, and I can't lighten it up. I've tried.
It looks fine. Whatever. I was in the 80s. It was a totally different world. It was. The older I get, the more I believe, like, we were the last real
normal fucking people, man.
Yeah, cell phones really did a lot. Cell phones are the greatest and worst thing ever.
Oh, they did so much damage. And the writing was on the wall. That's why there was a lot of people resisting at first.
I did. I refused a cell phone. I used to think, if I'm not at home, why do I want you to be able to contact me?
I mean, at least with a pager, I couldn't get to a phone, blah, 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 blah. But with the cell phone, it was like...
Even the pager. Like, once your mom got your pager number, shit was awful. We don't fight like that anymore, but we sure did. Otherwise, we wouldn't act out that way. But it's now gotten so modern with cameras and drones. It's different now. Bro, go play a military simulator. It is a little different now. Oh, yeah. Go play a video game, because that's real.
Yeah.
It's a simulator, dude. It simulates reality. It's what it's like. If I get shot in the simulator, do I die in real life?
Yeah.
Where do I get to go try military simulators at? Dude, bro, go try a military simulator. Oh, okay. Hang on a second. What do you got going on today? You got that? Okay, you got that shower. After you do the shower, I'm going to go try out the military simulator at the military simulator place.
Well, we just go to the base right near our house, right?
Yeah, they'll let me on. It's 45 minutes away.
Oh, we do have one for...
Yeah, we can just go to Selfridge Air Force Base.
Is that in Jackson?
No, Selfridge, that's in...
Is there one in Jackson?
No, that's the prison.
Museum?
It's the prison.
There's I thought there was like maybe an airplane museum or something. There's something else in Jackson. Not just...
Probably, but Jackson's known for the prison. I would love Guy to explain with an E aerodynamics and how planes fly when he doesn't believe in submarines. Right? Because flying through the air is the exact same thing as flying through the water.
Oh, that was really dumb. I'm sorry.
That's what they do. This is like literally this guy thought this out and was like, "Oh shit, this is gonna get him."
Was there something specific you were referring to, like
No,
physics wise?
this is just one of these doofuses that continuously does.
Not articulated well. If you meant something else.
No, he meant exactly what he said. He thinks that, well, you don't believe in submarines, but we can fly planes. I mean, come on, dude. Because, you know, they're the same thing.
Because he can swim underwater, but he can't fly in the air. Is that what he's like relating to? Because it's nowhere near the same.
A little bit. Like
submarine is not like snorkeling, guys.
It would take me 30 seconds to fold up a piece of paper that will fly for, you know, a few seconds, right? Depending on how high I am when I throw it, it'll, you know, fly, how much wind, blah, blah, blah. I literally can't do anything to build a small submarine that will just, you know, it's just not how that works.
You know, even manatees don't have a way to regulate their buoyancy other than farting.
I had no idea.
So think about that.
I don't know how real that is.
It is real. It's an animal fact.
It was on Animal Planet. It's got to be true.
I mean, he's a Cousteau. He's not going to lie about that shit.
Yeah, he is. He's going to do whatever he's told to do. They all do.
But no, they don't have the organ. Is it the spleen? That can regulate the air pressure within their body and therefore regulate buoyancy, allow them to go under, stay under, and come up when they want. So the only way that they can do that is by farting, releasing gas to, you know, regulate the air in their bodies. So, which made me think about you and the submarines.
I think like, that when it comes to I think when it comes to that, that's just something they think. They don't know. How animals go in through water, they don't know. They have ideas and all that, but they don't know the complex systems that are in place. The electrical systems that are taking place and sending the signals this way or that way. They don't know that shit. But when it comes to submarines, one of the things that people will always talk about is the ballast tanks. The ballast tanks, bro. Ballast tanks make up like 10% of the submarine's volume. So, you know, you take something, a big metal tube, you put 10% water in it, and now it can just go all the way around. And, like you said, farting. So that would mean it would have to push that water out, fill it with air, and then push that air out to let those spaces fill with water, right? So, essentially, submarines would be literally farting, pushing up, right, distinguishing, hey, look, I'm over here, air bubbles, anytime they moved around.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
My wife
these manatees fart.
Just wanted her lipstick to dry, so she was going
It's lip sense.
I get I understand. It's just the faces that you make.
I know, I hate it.
That's fucking hilarious. All that would have taken is to help Einstein, Germany, and America would have lost.
Huh? Oh, wait. I wasn't listening carefully enough for that. I don't know.
That was the statement, so I don't know.
Again, I wasn't listening carefully enough.
All it would have taken is to keep Einstein in Germany, and America would have lost.
Yeah.
Einstein didn't do shit. I mean, if you're talking about the person that we got from Germany that had something, it was Vernon von Brawler, Vernon von Bronner.
See, you're even lied to about that.
Vernon. It was
lied
Vernon.
to about everything. Fucking liars.
Einstein is just
History's all bullshit. He's
just a fucking character. I mean, just the theory of relativity is stupid. And then when you know, he figured it out when he was watching a train, and it's all just stupid. You know, the thing about physics and these supposed laws is there are places literally on Earth called mystery spots, where all that shit doesn't quite, the laws bend and break in certain weird ways. And the reason that happens is, I don't know. We don't know. But they're laws, damn it. I'm an 8th grade dropout. My spelling is pretty good, I know. An 8th grade dropout, then like your contribution is going to be scrutinized a lot more than it normally would be.
Only because you were not subjected to high school history.
Well, there's just more to it than that. I mean, you know, especially considering you're on the official side of the argument. So for you to not even gotten the full official narrative, you know, your arguments are going to be weak. And your spelling makes a big difference, especially when you're on a computer that shows you the right word, that populates it for you. If you're on your phone, for you to spell things wrong on your phone is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Many FBI on site that day. I don't think anybody believed it back then either. Many FBI on site 9/11. They're everywhere. I mean, just look at Oklahoma City. How come none of you know the date of Oklahoma City? Oklahoma City being the largest terrorist attack on U.S. soil prior to 9/11, and to this day, the largest domestic terrorist attack on U.S. soil. How come?
I don't even know the dates of World War II.
Yeah, but Oklahoma City was one day.
Ignore all of that because it's all bullshit.
Yeah, but Oklahoma City was one day, and it was in your lifetime, and it was a big deal. Like, and it had lasting. I mean, the country was looking for John Doe number 2 for like 2 months, and then suddenly Reno comes out and she's like, "There is no John Doe number 2," and like, "Oh, okay, cool, move on."
Nothing to see here.
On this here, that guy that people saw and all that, he didn't actually exist. Yep. And the whole narrative is bullshit. There's a guy called Coop, makes great videos. Scooper of Coop. He does he's put out recently great videos about the Oklahoma City thing. Now, do I think Coop is it's completely legitimate? No. You know, he could very well be just another controlled opposition. Leaking information about shit like Oklahoma City when, you know, the perpetrators are dead. When there's no repercussions that can affect anyone in positions of power today. So they're going to let people like Coop release the shit. Look, we have somebody that's a pedophile. They put Trump in lots of hearts. Like, think about how fucking delusional you have to be at this point to still be a Trump supporter. How disgusting you have to be.
Really are disgusting.
Clintons used to sell drugs back in the day. Those boys' bodies found at the railroad tracks aren't talked about at all much, but they got skeletons. Ask the people in the towns that were there. Fucking ask, what's his name? What the fuck was the wrestler's name? That was I just thought about it. I just had it. What the fuck? He had the hat. No, it's not a famous guy. You won't know who he is. Billy Jack Hayes, that's who it was. Billy Jack Hayes. Billy Jack Hayes says he fucking was there. He did it. He was a part of it. And they just go, "Oh, he did the crazy old wrestler." What the fuck would be his fucking benefit to acknowledging that shit? It takes a unique individual to be okay with a young boy to become a young girl. Who thinks young children should transition medically? I do think if a little boy feels like he's a little girl, why does that affect me? When they get old enough, they can have whatever surgery they want. But if they want to live their lives as little girls, what's the fucking problem there? People like you dumbass people love to always bring this shit up. Hey, I'd love to see the doctor performing these surgeries that you're talking about. But these are the same people. It's like, so let's just say you have a kid, and your kid, first of all, your kid wouldn't have to say it to you. You'd probably already notice because they'd be exhibiting all sorts of behaviors. But one day your kid says, Dad, I feel like I'm a girl in a little boy's body. What are you going to say? You're going to slap him in the face, give him a football, and tell him to man up? Go play some football, you little bastard.
I mean, the sad thing is there's lots of that.
That's what most of you would do. And then you create that fucking psychopath. What is being taught to our kids to make them even consider changing who they are? Never heard about that when I was growing up in the 70s. It's always been around. There's always been gay and there's always been trans. It just, you didn't have cell phones.
And they were fucking terrified.
Oh yeah, they lived very, very closeted lives.
Because of people
right.
Like that.
But to think that like, so again, I just have to question manhood, who you are as a person. Because if you could tell me, what do you think you could be shown? What do you think you could watch on TV? What do you think could happen in your life that would make you go, I think I might put a dick in my mouth. Yeah, you know what? Maybe a little dick butt action. Yeah, I think I might give that a try. I mean, I don't like it. I'm not attracted to dudes or anything, but you know what? I might just try it. Why the fuck not? Maybe I'll be gay. If you think gay is a choice, it's because it is for you. You have all sorts of homosexual shit that you just don't act upon. That's why you think it's a choice. For me, I think gay stuff is fucking disgusting. Ugh. For me. For you to do it, what the fuck do I care? Go ahead. Suck all the dicks you want. Hope you're safe about it. But, right, but I'm not, doesn't affect me at all. Just like how gay dudes think vaginas are gross.
Ew.
We asked Daisy, how much would I have to pay you to get you to go down on a broad?
Nothing, because I wouldn't do it.
That was his thing. That was what she said.
Nope.
No, that's disgusting. So not only does she want to be a woman, she's a very, very heterosexual woman.
Okay, so I saw a video earlier about this. The one with the duck lips.
Yeah.
Was born a male, does not identify as a she, does not want to be a she.
I thought it was a dude.
Likes girls. It is a dude.
Yeah.
But everybody calls him trans and thinks that he's transitioning.
Just because he looks weird. Which is weird because you're saying, so what, women look weird? So because somebody looks really weird, that means they're transitioning into female?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he dresses very feminine. He wears makeup. He gets the collagen injections in his lips.
And looks nothing like a female.
I mean, it looks like a dude trying to be a girl. He does. So, it's...
Yeah, he did great things. That's what happened to him. Religious selling his prime. Yeah, that's what happened. You know that because you were there, not because Western media told you that's what happened. Sounds to me like the United States had some real competition with Libya. We did. So true, James, about what being taught to kids. It's crazy what changes from generation to generation. Some are good, some are... What's being taught? What do you think is being taught to kids? It's always dumb people who don't have kids that say shit like that. Like, the funniest thing is, as far as, like, progressive schools go, my kids went to one of the most progressive schools I've ever heard of. They were all about everybody is okay and equal and this, that, and the other. They were never taught gay stuff.
No.
They were never taught trans stuff.
No.
They were taught tolerance.
Yeah, there was a large, is that gone?
Large gay trans population in the school, yeah. But they were never like, okay, so gay guys, when you're putting on a condom, you grab your banana, and they didn't do that. Like, what do you think they're teaching the kids? The only thing they ever teach the kids is to accept people for who they are. You know how I know? Because I literally have kids in the school systems you're talking about at this time. First-hand knowledge. If I go ask my kids about it, which I do all the time, they think it's a fucking joke. You guys don't believe me? Watch. Watch. Hey guys, how much gay stuff do they teach you in school?
A lot.
No, for real. I want you to answer for real.
None.
Have you ever had the teachers teach you anything but you need to accept people for who they are?
Yeah, no, I have never been taught anything else.
What about trans? You ever been taught, like, have they ever told you, Nicholas, you should wear a dress? Huh?
Nothing. No, they've never told me that.
What about you?
Like, I have a gay teacher and he doesn't even do that. He says, every boy is beautiful. That's it. Words of wisdom.
What about you? Like, you ever heard anything?
I know.
Did they ever try to convince you to be gay or be trans or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
No, for real. I got people saying how they're teaching the kids in school to be gay and trans.
What retards are saying this exactly?
We don't use that word. Stop it.
My bad.
That's a bad word, monkey.
Seriously though, who is saying this?
A whole bunch of dumb white Christian males.
Oh.
Go figure, huh?
Hey, Dad, what's another word for a white
Hey,
person?
get out of
What's
here.
another word for a white person?
Cracker.
Yeah.
It's my.
It is. It's actually a tasty word, too.
I've seen you disrespect so many people on here, guy, and no one does it back to you. You not people for multiple reasons. How about this? Quit blaming others for your misfortunes and shortcomings. Isn't that weird how you guys always say that same dumb thing? Who am I blaming for my misfortunes and shortcomings in this? When am I talking about me? Do I ever talk about me and my own personal shit? Not really. But of course, this is the dumbass who tried to make reasonable arguments. Sorta. Tried his best to make reasonable arguments and fell apart. And has been here for months and months and months saying the same dumb crybaby things. Yet, for some reason, they keep coming back. How about you take some of your drug money and fix one of your ceiling tiles? Oh, yeah, that's... Oh, man! He just pointed out the broken ceiling tile.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Because, you know, this is one of those ceilings that you just replace one of the tiles, right? With this old fucking 40s ceiling materials. How about you take some of your drug money? You know, we're always spending money on drugs. Seriously, who buys weed anymore? Weed is everywhere. Literally, it's everywhere. What's wrong with you? Hell, we could bring up videos from 8 months ago of you in your subscription archives and about several of your court cases.
Court case?
Yeah, all my court cases.
Court not telling me.
Yeah, all the time. All the time. I have all these court cases that were, you know, apparently I have the drug money to be able to buy the drugs and pay all those court cases, all those court fines. Please, by all means, bring up one of my court cases from the last few months, from 8 months. And within the last 8 months ago, please bring up the court case that I had. Oh, I would love to hear about this. It's your world, though. We're all just stupid to you. None of us are more successful than you, all-knowing guy, and people watch you because you are a clown. My wife knows how submarines work. I don't think you understood what she was saying. Oh, yeah, my wife is much smarter than me in some respects, for sure. You're a clown that walks in circles and smokes too much drugs, gets Willy Wonka poop brain, and rambles your points are invalid and you contradict yourself.
Holy shit, that was a run-on sentence.
You pick and choose your argument points. An example was when you were talking about Gaddafi only show the positive of the viewpoint instead of talking about the whole viewpoint. So you mean when I was talking about the positive things that Gaddafi did, I should have also been talking about the negative things then too, huh? Clear your ceiling fan. You got time to might even get more viewers in doing what you're doing. Clear my ceiling fan. Let's see. Let's just see. I know, but gee, our ceiling fan looks filthy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't our ceiling fan look filthy? I mean, that is way more important than anything else we're talking about. The ceiling fan and the ceiling tile. God damn it. Ceiling tiles. He does that honestly. See how he kind of disregard his wife manatee example because he favors the idea of a submarine. So your example about the manatees was apparently proof of submarines.
Really?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Sensor also made of steel. Steel don't float and little knowledge of hydro displacement. Oh, right. Steel doesn't float. Hey, sweetheart. Did you know that steel doesn't float?
What?
Steel doesn't float. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. There are not huge freighters and aircraft carriers and such made of steel that float. That's just false. You'd be in a better than where you're at in life. Just because some of us come from crappy situations doesn't mean we have to remain in the situations. It's called having a goal. Einstein developed nuclear fusion. No, he didn't. But you, instead of actually taking action, you just complain. You don't actually do anything, and that's why you're still where you are in life. And you want people to listen. You don't insult them. Oh, did my insulting hurt your feelings? What a fucking weirdo. Oh, man. Nuclear fusion equals bomb, and Germany would have gotten the bomb first. Sure. At the end of the day, I might not agree with a lot of things. A lot is 2 words. But I keep coming back and I do listen to you. I'm a hippie who does love all people, but as a sheep, you would call me. It's very easy to spell things wrong on your phone with voice typing. Why would you ever be so lazy that you would use voice typing, especially if you're watching a video of a dude talking, so that the thing picks up both voices and confuses things? And why would voice typing mean the word is spelled wrong? Voice typing doesn't, unless you're going, OTHERE, unless you're, I guess, spelling it out, but voice typing doesn't make spelling mistakes. It might make grammatical mistakes, but even then, it normally doesn't. But see, this is how you actually address arguments people are making, not just say dumb shit. Love your family first, love your cousins second, love your country third, and love your world. Love your country. I love my country. Jesus Christ, man. When is it okay for a little boy to say he's a girl? When is it not okay? Why would it not be okay? What's the problem? I mean, I would think as far as like operations and shit go, you know, you should probably be well into the puberty journey because your body changes and all that. I know my oldest son, before he understood what gay was, he said he was gay because, you know, you tell little boys gay means boys who like boys don't like girls. Hey, girls are stupid. I'm gay then. Nowadays, yeah, he hates when you bring it up. You should real firm he is indeed a boy becoming a man. You're so stupid. Oh my God. This is always shit that people that don't have kids argue. There would have been nothing I could have done to make my little boys wear dresses. Especially once they started like experiencing the outside world. Like if from birth I would have put them in dresses, yeah, that would have they would have, you know, had no choice and it would have been one thing. But it definitely would have fucked them up as they got older because they were boys. They didn't have any sort of desire to be girls. But if your kid has a desire to be a girl, that's not, I mean, again, maybe that was a thing for you as a kid as well, right? Maybe you've always secretly wanted to be a girl. Who knows? But for someone like me, like, there's no questioning whatsoever. There's nothing about being a girl that seems interesting to me other than like free drinks and shit. I sure would love to be able to come like multiple orgasm. That would be amazing. Being gay and being trans is different. Oh, it is? Horrible doctors make money on these poor children. Oh yeah? Horrible where? Give me some examples of these doctors making money off of trans children. This is as dumb as thinking the government pays for trans surgeries and shit. It doesn't. But you're talking to people who literally they don't even have like a toenail in that world. They just watch some white dude on a video somewhere talk a whole bunch of ignorant shit and they run with it. But they don't know anything about this shit. They just talk about it. When I talk to my wife's trans friend and we ask about does the government pay for any sort of surgeries or anything, she fucking laughed. I think one should love who they want to love. Don't change who you are when you aren't. Oh, I'm glad you think that. You should live your life how you want to. Who the fuck are you to tell someone else how they can live their life? Do you know that there are tons of people out there who like fucking feet? See? That's fucking disgusting. That is as gross as it gets. Feet are nasty. What could be a sexual attraction to feet? I have no idea. Do I think people that fuck feet shouldn't be allowed to? That they shouldn't be allowed to get married? That they shouldn't be allowed to have the same rights I have? Well, no. I don't care. The thing about feet fuckers is it's not like they look different. It's actually your best friend is probably a foot fucker and you don't even know it. I'm so much more concerned with all of the white Christian men and friar men raping children than I am any two adults that want to live happily together. But see, that's where you're a fucking moron, is you think some dude in a dress is more important than protecting children. And you're a moron because you think like, oh, if a trans person goes to a school and reads a book, that's going to make boys be trans. If that was the case, why don't we just have doctors go read books to kids and then everybody becomes a doctor? The only reason you would ever be attracted to trans anything is because you are trans. You have that inside of you. Nobody who thinks, nobody who's not trans, either themselves or lovers, is like, man, I'm sure I'm attracted to drag queens for some reason. Nobody does that. It's just not how that works. I am white. I can't be black. But from your analogy, why not? What are you talking about? Like that's dumb. Your race is not something you can convert. But do you think that gay people and trans people are just like pretending? What is the benefit of that? They're probably effeminate, outcasts as it is. At what point do you think they went, you know what? I'm already getting beat up and shit by the tougher kids and nobody really likes me. I'm going to pretend to be gay. That'll make everyone like me. What is the benefit to that? This element of what you're looking for, just not here. I guarantee none of you have ever been hit on by some gay guy. None of you are the majority of you aren't very attractive. And unless you're putting out that vibe, gay guys pick it up. You know how you can tell a dude's gay? So can they. And if they've hit on you, maybe you're putting out a different vibe than you think. I've literally got Ferndale is like the San Francisco of Michigan. And one night a week, they would have like gay night. It's a small little town, bunch of bars, bunch of clubs, and all these. It's a real happening scene. And one night a week they would have gay night, and everything catered to gays. And the mayor of Ferndale at the time was a gay man. I went to gay night with the gay mayor and didn't get hit on. Guys would sort of look at me and they'd size me and they'd be like, oh, forget it. Nobody caused me any problems. Nobody this, nobody like. They would talk. Oh, you're cute. But they never did anything. Because that's not, they didn't get the vibe back. There was no bounce back there. This stuff didn't get taught in my kid's school either. It doesn't get taught anywhere. Dumb white people who think they can control other people's lives make up these fucking rumors and they act like it's everywhere when they don't have kids. While you are using one example, using your kid's school, there are other schools who are teaching what you're speaking against. Once again, taking one side of the subject instead of taking accountability. Yeah? So you who doesn't have kids, why are you so up on what's happening in the schools around you? And so when I ask the kids that live in this house, what's being taught in the multiple schools they've gone to, and they say they've never heard anything like that, we're wrong, not you. I'm just taking one side of things. Not you, though. Because you're a bigot who acts like he knows stuff. That makes you're right. I'm wrong for like being in this world and having direct contact and all that. I don't know what I'm talking about. We should listen to your dumbass who doesn't even know the right your to use. Gotcha. Well, my kids are in their 30s and late 20s. Yeah, well, mine are 15 and 13. What the fuck bullshit? You know where my anytime you call me. I never do. Never, not once. You can't find it. You attack others if they disagree with you, then mock them like a child. Here we go again. His kids may be okay, but not all school systems are equal. You're calling upon these random schools that you don't know about. Yep. Gotcha. You, again, here we go with more of that arrogance. I literally, not only do I debunk it before I talk to the kids, but then I debunk your narrative by talking to actual kids about it. And you still know better because you are an arrogant prick. Nobody said teaching in the schools there is learned in learning other places. No, lots of people said that. They're teaching it in the schools. What are they teaching in the schools to have these kids think this way? I think your dumbass said it. What are you talking about? He hates me. If I hated you, why would I leave you here to make me laugh and look stupid? Does it ever occur to you that you're only here because I allow you to be? And I allow you to be because you're definitely not worth me hating you. Unless you're a pedo, which you've already sort of proven you are. So yes, I do hate you for that. But outside of that, you just want to be, you want to affect me so badly. One day, he went off on a rant and started calling me slurs, anti-Semitic slurs, and that I'm not even Hebrew. He ended up getting his own video shut down that day. He's even worse. Yep. You know me, always using those anti-Semitic slurs. Oh, these dumb friars, man. I swear they're so stupid. You are getting roasted. You keep going, trolls. You get all the badges, points too. Yes, I am getting roasted, says the proven pedophile. Gotcha. You're literally reading only my comments in a mocking manner like a 4-year-old. Yup. 4-year-olds read comments really well. I don't know how many 4-year-olds you know that are able to read comments, but hey, again, apparently you spend a lot more time with kids than you might want people to think. Huh? Is that the case? Apparently you're hanging out in schools and you're hanging out with 4-year-olds reading comments and watching videos and shit. Is that what you do? To answer your question, the voice typing thing, guys, some accents throw it off. If there's any the wrong way or be misconstrued, lazy about it then. Or is somehow that my fault too?
Did you do that?
No, I didn't do anything. I didn't hear you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you fill the coffee or the tea thing for me when you? Well, I'm gonna go do that. So can.
Yep.
I just can't. Can you just pull it out? I got it. Oh shit. Oh shit, I'm making a mess. Oh shit, I made a mess. Good thing it's water. Oh, don't you understand water displacement? Nope. No, I don't understand it. Popular Science magazine could explain you clearly how submarines work. Yeah, show me. I can't type that fast. Who's your provider? T-Mobile spells shit wrong all the time. Oh, I bet it does. So now the claim is that the computer is not just using the wrong grammar, but also spelling words wrong. Because, that's how the computer works, right? Now the computer's spelling the words wrong. Is Reed's being gay and being trans is different, but then reads it in a muggy voice. When it's true, if you're trans, you could be straight, right? Yeah, no shit, they're different. Nobody thinks they're the same. I just think your argument is stupid. At the end of the day, they're people who deserve equal rights, regardless of whether they're trans or gay. But keep going. I got to open up the shop in 10 minutes, guy. I'm glad I can make you laugh today with the ceiling fan and shit. It is a Saturday, so don't forget to put on your hat. Oh, tinfoil hat. Okay, I'll put on my tinfoil hat because it's Saturday. Neither can you convert your gender. No, you can. You can. You can live your life as a woman or a man or whatever, and it doesn't really matter. Can you become biologically a woman? No. But, you know, you can do what you can. And truly, I think that because we live in such a fucking bonehead society, trans women are women. I think there's something different. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But to say that they are actually women is insulting. Just like to say that trans women are actually men is insulting. Those things aren't true. But because we live in the society we live in, we end up fighting about stupid shit. No, they're just their own category, and there's nothing wrong with that. No, there's only two genders. Well, unless it's a hermaphrodite, because there are actually people born both. But that doesn't count. That doesn't count. That only counts when that is a hermaphrodite who claims to be a woman and is competing in women's sports, smashing everyone with her boy physique. The stupidity that is associated with all of this. Like, people just can't understand things. Like, if it's one thing, it's got to be one size fits all for every situation. If it's this, then it's this. If it's that, then it's that. Ugh. Oh, stupid. You just said, who the fuck are you to tell someone else how to live their life and literally on here and knock others for how they live their life? That's what I mean. Yeah. Telling others how to live their lives when they don't discriminate or harm other people. We're talking about different things. Again, this is where your stupidity sort of comes in, because you act like you can't understand what's being said. I have a big issue with people mixing up choice with identity. How you are born. How you are born is no choice. If you think you're a girl in a man's body, that's not a choice you're making. That's a choice that's in there. Then you don't have any. You can't just be, no, I'm a man. I like titties. No, I know I see cocks and I like it, but I don't like them anymore. I'm a man. It doesn't work that way. But when it comes to people choosing to identify with a specific cult and then using that cult to oppress people, that's a whole different issue. But again, I know you understand that, and your arguments are just made out of desperation. But still, man, this is why I keep you here. For you to keep proving that point. That the level of stupidity has to be, extraordinary to be able to maintain any sort of opposition, especially the opposition that's obsessed, that comes daily and cries and, you just don't listen to me. I said stop, and if I say stop, you should listen, because I know I can't spell very well, but I know what I'm talking about. And my bigotry is correct, even though I can't argue it, even though I can't make any valid points to back it up, even though you keep smashing everything I say, it's okay that I think this way. Yeah. It's really fucking silly, man. Hey, man, you can convert your gender, but not your skin color. Michael Jackson, let's bring up one example that you know nothing about. If people could convert their skin color, they'd be doing it all the time. You would have more than the same one example everybody else has. That's not a thing. But identity, your national, your race, I can't just start going, okay, I'm a Chinese now. Everybody need to talk to me, call me Chinese. Nobody's going to be okay with that. You can't do that. I can, however, say, you know what? From here on out, I'm Jewish, and everybody needs to respect me because I'm Jewish. There's a huge difference there. I can say I'm a Christian. I can say I'm a Muslim. Nobody can do anything about that. Those are things you can convert. Do you understand, or is there, like, do I need to, like, say it slower, or what does it take to get you to understand basic English and then be able to argue it back? Because I really don't think I'm being that confusing or, you know, that hard to understand. Why wasn't it okay for MJ to do it, huh? When he literally said that. Why wasn't it okay for MJ to do it, huh? Let people, your quote, live their life. Who cares? What? Live their lives. So if you live your life means you oppress other people, that's not okay now, is it? How are gay or trans people oppressing you in the slightest? Why are you scared of a guy in a dress? You know what I know about all of these dumb, fat, Christian white males that are crying right now? I know that when two hot chicks are making out, they're not like, ew, that's gay stuff, and I don't like gay stuff. I don't want to see those hot girls making out anymore. Ew. You ever heard one of those gay guys condemn hot chicks making out? No. No. Never fucking happens. Of course, they'll always try to put themselves in that. Those girls want me. Those girls want me in my tiny penis. This is so fucking racist. It's unbelievable. Oh, man. It's too bad you're busy this morning, because these guys have been hilarious. Yeah, the shit that these guys keep coming up with is just... It's so funny. You just think, like, how can people be so stupid and be so proud of it? I mean, they're proud of it in certain ways. Like, they're not going to, like, this isn't their real identity or anything. You're not going to find out who they really are. But I think we're almost down to that, man. And it's Saturday. I forgot what because it's sad. Oh yeah, because it's Saturday, I should put on my tinfoil hat. Because apparently I wear it. We all know I do. I was really hoping you guys wouldn't tell anybody about that. Hey, wife explained how manatees sink. Replace a manatee with a submarine. Yep, that's what it is. Manatees and submarines are the same thing. When you look up submarines, they literally say, think of a manatee.
They fart to go up.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my God, Faith and Biggs.
Michael Jackson had that one specific vitiglio or whatever it's called that nobody else has. Usually that shit is in splotches, but for some reason the Michael Jackson clone, it wasn't like it was breaking down or anything. It wasn't something beyond your comprehension.
It's headlong.
It was Vitiglia.
It's right here on Merriman.
Do you hate everyone who practices religion? Do I hate them? No, not particularly. I mean, depending on which like I hate everyone that's a friar. If you're a friar, I fucking hate you. What you believe in is disgusting and horrible. Christians and Muslims, I don't hate you, but I hate what you believe in. And if you push that shit and you ignore the the pedophilia and all that other shit, yeah, I guess it falls into that category. Sure. What's your daily routine? Well, here, let me tell you. He just used a lot of foundation to make one color palette. Okay. Anyway, it's gotten stupid. If anybody has any real, input, I'd love to hear it. But for the most part, this is just stupid. You guys are stupid. And you prove the point. It takes stupid bigots, brainwashed, stupid, insecure, arrogant bigots to maintain this sheep ideology, this sheep mentality. And more than likely, the vast majority of the commenters are, in fact, Israeli operatives. This is Team Jorge. This is either bots or it's actual operatives. But, if I was wrong about anything, you would pick the exact point that I'm getting that's wrong and then highlight it and be like, you're wrong about this because of this. It wouldn't be this fucking weird ass game where I'm constantly like, come on, you can do it. You can come up with something. Come on, you're a big boy. I really wish the opposition was better. I mean, seriously. How many times have I called the McKenzie profile a fucking pedophile and they're not upset about it. They're proud of it. You are a smart guy. You know everything, right? Yeah, that's what happens. I love when you guys say that about me. You guys say that I know everything. I never even come close to saying that. But you guys say it because you see me in such a high situation and high standards. You know that you can't actually debunk anything I'm saying because everything you do come up with, I just smash. So to you, I basically do know everything. It's not true, obviously, There's plenty of things you can talk about. I don't know a fucking thing about makeup. I don't know anything about mortgages and shit. I know a little tiny bit, but barely. I don't know about the GDP of China and who their leader is, and there are plenty of things I don't know anything about. But because you can't actually make any, not any reasonable arguments, you always resort. Look at that. Not just proud, very proud, says the fucking pedophile. That's disgusting. I wish we could figure out who that person was and send people there. You guys see this, right? Flat out admitting that they are not just a proud pedophile, they are a very proud pedophile. Man, I sure wish I could, I wish you'd show up like you said you would all those times. This person just literally proved my point. The person that claims to have been here for 10 years plus just admitted to being a pedophile. I'm bored and I find your ranting interesting. Dude, your life is that bad? Man. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. You should be. That's what it's here for. Wow. Wow. I'm so glad that you did this. I'm so glad you finally admitted it. Because you've denied it for many, many years. But you just admitted it. And we'll be referring back to that message for years. Because, you'll still be here crying for years. Living for me. Like I say, as long as you're here and not searching the web for more kids, if I can waste any of your time, I'm happy about it. I'm surprised. I guess I'm not, But the comment section isn't jumping all over that one, huh? You just had somebody admit to not just being a proud pedo, but a very proud pedo, and none of you think anything's wrong with that? Gee, that seems kind of strange. Telling, but strange. Does that sort of add to the idea that the majority of the profiles that are here are in fact those Israeli pedos? That's fucking wild. The fact that they're getting this bold is kind of interesting. It's scary, really, right? Because normally they don't. This has been 10 plus years of you know uh, a lot of times trying to deny it, but outing themselves. But when I've said this is an admitted pedo, it was based on what they had presented. Now they just flat out admitted it. This person fucking rapes children, deals in child exploitation materials, and as far as I'm concerned, couldn't be killed fast enough. I'm begging them, please kill yourself. Please don't hurt any more children. If it's who I think it is, then we know you've already hurt your children, or at least the children that you were near. They had to be taken from you. If it is Brian Wallace, aka Mr. Krabs. I'm taking care of my 100-year-old mother in the hills of Nebraska. Have a vibrant, aware family who keeps on active and active watch for each other. Sure. Wow. Wow. Man. That's fucking sick. You're a sick piece of shit. And I now have the ultimate piece of evidence. Wow. What makes you guys... the fact that they've become so emboldened that they're now just admitting it and very proud to be pedophiles. They're not even hiding in the shadows anymore. I mean, granted, that's a fake identity, and somebody with any sort of real skills could probably figure out who it is. But that they're this, like, this is creepy. This is fucking creepy. Really makes you wonder, man. Really makes you wonder what's going on in the bigger picture that they're feeling so comfortable in outing themselves. Wow. Well, there you go. That is the... I've always said if you just leave them here and you just let them talk, Obviously I'm going to block them when they start using pedophile code and shit, but if you just leave them on here, they're gonna out themselves. One way or another, they out themselves. They say things that other people wouldn't say. And this dumbass just made the biggest fucking acknowledgement. Guy has too, T.O., much hate in his heart. Yes, I have too much hate in my heart for pedophiles and cult members. You are correct. How dare I have so much hate in my heart for pedophiles and cult members who commit genocide? Bye. Yes, for the cult. Absolutely. For the child ritualistic, child abusing cult who are committing genocide. Very, very proud of that fact. The fact that you don't have hate in your heart for those kinds of situations just tells me what a piece of shit you are. Cult. and that cult never does anything to like they aren't out there fighting for their own children. They aren't out there condemning Matitza Bupe. There might be a handful that supposedly oppose the genocide, but actors come and go. But not all do that. Yeah, well, the ones that don't condone it. Can somebody tell you that they're an acceptable NAMBLA member? Yeah, I belong to NAMBLA. I don't actually partake in any of the stuff. I kind of think it's gross, but I belong to the organization and I think they should have all the rights in the world, and I give them lots of money, and when they do their fundraisers where they have a bunch of bounce houses and shit and thousands of kids come through, and yeah, maybe they pick off a few kids to violate one way or another, but thousands of other kids don't get violated. So yeah, no, it's okay. I'm a NAMBLA member. I support NAMBLA. How many of you think that's okay? Would that work? So you're just gonna link all the friars who don't do that? Yes, I am. First of all, they lie. So why would I believe them when they say they don't? Who's gonna be like, yeah, I partake in the ritualistic sexual abuse? You know? Until we start eliminating those that do, and they start speaking out against those that do and working to eliminate those that do, well, then they're all guilty. You are so paranoid. Yes, I totally am. What's that? What's that? Who's that guy in the tree? He condemning the 99% of the bad for one. Yep. It's just 1%. You know the percentage, don't you? You're real up on the percentage of friars ritualistically raping children. Yeah, I bet. And it's not just that. Their cult is awful. They hate everyone. There's a reason why they've been kicked out of 109 countries in the last 1,000 years, supposedly, if that's even true. Nobody wants to talk about why, but there is a why. And Matitza Bupe is practiced by a large percentage. It's much larger than you think, at least here in the United States. Over there, it's even worse. Seems like you want to start disagreeing a lot. A lot is 2 words for the second time. Of my comments that follow up some of the arguments you make. It doesn't make it hard to debate, but every time I come here, it's not a debate. I come here to get whatever, dude. You dumb as fuck. I don't even know what to say. You don't like your version of debate is that you think if you say something, I'm supposed to agree with you. Never mind that I have a counter argument to whatever you have to say, and then you run out of shit to say. No, that's my fault. I should just be like, oh yeah, your dumb argument makes sense. Never mind that I have a lot of arguments against what you're saying. You said one dumb thing, so that means you're right. Fucking stupid, man. It's fucking stupid. It's so consistent. Anyway, go check out all the links in the descriptions. It's actually receipts. Everything I talk about can be backed up by the links in the description. And the best thing is, other than the website, www.the-bilderberg, bilderberg-group.com, where you get the free download, outside of that, all of those links that aren't Facebook links are links to their stuff. It's not some Goyim put this video out or Goyim wrote this article or whatever. It's all them. Hollywoodism, the most important film ever made, was made by them, for them. Israel Hayom is all them. It's not us. The Bottom of Darkness article is the most important article ever written. Go read it. I'm providing you my sources. Go read my sources that aren't that again, it's not my doing. I have nothing to do with it. You go read that stuff. I know reading is hard. I don't like reading. You go read that stuff and you tell me which bits I'm getting wrong. Do a much better job the next time you come here. Because literally all you do is make me look better. We literally had a pedophile come on here and say they're not just a proud pedophile, they're a very proud pedophile. Like I've been telling you for years. How do we stop these fucking people? You really, the real problem here is me talking about it? Not the guy that admitted that he fucking likes raping kids and sending fucking child materials and all that shit? This is an evil, disgusting creature, and you're focused on me? Yeah, gee, I wonder who you might be. A lot of friars here today, folks. A lot of friars here today. Anyway, like I say, have yourself a great day. Go check out the list of receipts. There's tons of them in the description. You could be busy all day actually learning something. Go learn about the Havara Agreement. Something that completely destroys the World War II Holocaust narrative. Again, not my fucking words. Their shit. The agreement signed between the Zionist Federation and the Nazis that allowed 60,000 friars, German friars, to move to Palestine and start colonizing it. Long before there was ever any Nakba. Long before there was any the Palestinian partition. Long before any of the stuff you think, long before the Holocaust, they were already colonizing through the Havara Agreement. Go read it. Tell me what I'm wrong about. Have yourself a great day. And all of you pedophiles, most importantly, you pedophiles, fucking kill yourself.